Today's guest is the head coach at Ole Miss down in Oxford, Mississippi, which is where we are taping today. He's helped take that program to new heights in the past 5 years. He's got his own group of fans called the Laniacs. And it was great talking to him about his mentality on life, coaching, and leadership. Today's guest is the one, the only, Lane Kiffin. Yeah, bro. So did you invite me to Pilates or did you invite me to yoga? Which one?
Yoga.
Okay.
Very big difference. Yeah. My daughter's actually a Pilates teacher, but yoga's like better, like the hot yoga part of it.
Yeah.
The intensity, like make it so miserable. You know, that's what I do. I control the heat in the back.
You do?
Yeah.
At the yoga studio?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, man. Yeah. Does it remind you almost of game day out there on the field? Like, because it gets pretty, I mean, you're in the SEC, so this is a really humid area.
Yeah. So I make it that way too, like that we're playing like in the swamp or in Baton Rouge, like in an early September game. So it's like really hot. So you gotta like fight through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baton Ratchet, dude. That's what I call it.
Yeah. I was trying to get you to go this morning. So then like you would have gone through the misery and the experience and then we'd like discuss it on air. So you'd be like, man.
I did get my yoga in this morning though.
Yeah. A little slower, a little different. Yeah.
Yeah. I got it in at room temp.
This isn't like traditional yoga, like flow, which that's good. And that's actually where I started with it. Then I was like, I got to go to another level, like make this, put a heater in there, like make it as hot, intense, and then like put cardio in there. And I just like bringing new people to, and then they struggle. So it makes me feel good about myself.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's part of it.
That's so, that was me just a couple hours ago, getting it done with my Cat Williams statue right there.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was, like Nutcracker or something.
Oh yeah, that's a statue of Cat Williams that they have. But yeah, so is that a big part of your, like, is yoga like a regular part of your day usually, or your week?
Yeah, every day, every morning. It like starts my day that way. And so there's no phone for an hour, you know, and you gotta get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you gotta sit in it. So I figure if I can start my day usually at like 6 o'clock in the morning that way and be so uncomfortable, that's the hardest part of my day. The rest of it, man, I can deal with the rest.
Yeah.
And so that, you know, you get in those poses too, and those positions, you're just like, man, I want to get out of this discomfort.
Right.
So I got to stay in the discomfort. And over time, I'm able to stay in it longer and longer and more intense with the heat. And I feel like the rest of the day, man, I'm just kind of like chill for the rest of the day.
And if the heat's been ramped up, what's the next thing you think you would add into to Lane Kiffin, like the Lane Kiffin yoga experience, which almost seems like people should wear pads to be at it, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, we have playlists. So we got good music, good energetic music. We put some cardio in there now. And so we challenge the teachers, like come up with the hardest things possible. So they just like make this list of stuff like, you know, back when you were like young and you were like training in high school and they just put up all the different like 3x10, 3x15, like all these and keep going. And then like some of the classes like are public. So we got students in there, we got other people in there. So, and then we like, I feel like
civilians, I call them.
I'm trying to take Oxford to another level. So I'm like, I want for generations it to be tough.
Yeah.
And so sometimes they're like, well, open the door. You know, I'm like, don't open the door, man. We like keep them in the heat.
Yeah. Hold the line.
Yes. And then at the end, like, I'm like, guess what? We need overtime.
Yeah.
Like last week, I'm like, it's March Madness. We need an overtime. And everybody's like, no overtime. No overtime, coach. And I'm like,
kick the field goal, coach.
Yeah.
We got to get out of here.
Yeah. We're making these kids tougher.
Dang. I can't believe the fact that somebody's trying to start generational yoga is that's next level, man. I guess that's the Lane Kiffin level, you know? Yeah. And I like the fact, you hit me up on social media. I thought that was cool just to like kind of welcome me into the area today. So I thought that was pretty cool. You kind of have like you're kind of notorious on Twitter for like being like a unique, like kind of an outspoken coach. Would you say that's a fair term?
Yeah, I would say very different.
Yeah.
I looked at social media when I started, it was for recruiting because we weren't able to text the kids. It was a dumb NCAA rule, like most of them. And
you couldn't text them. Could you mail?
Yeah, you could DM them. You could, on Twitter, you could message them. You can message them.
On Twitter, but you couldn't text them personally.
Yes. It made no sense.
Right.
So that's why it was started. And then I just kind of started being a normal person. I was like, you know, I can't be a normal person as a coach in a lot of my life. So I was like, on social media, I'll just be normal. And then buddies start sending me stuff. I just retweet it. Or other coaches like in the SEC, like Kirby Smart. He all the time because he's politically correct. So he's like got stuff he wants to put out there, but he's like, they just send it to me because they know I will. So
nice.
I just kind of embraced it and ran with it.
Yeah, I think I think it separates you from some of the other guys out there. That's for sure. I think, it makes you seem a little bit more kind of crazy and personable at the same time, I think.
The reason why I kept going with it was because I would go into home visits and these parents would say, or they'd come into my office like when they're doing a campus tour, and they would say to me like, Coach, we feel like we already know you. We love your social media. I love your Twitter. I love your Instagram. Like, we feel like we already know you. And I'm like, well, shoot, how much is that worth that they're already coming to visit us, wanting their kid to go here, saying we already know you because of it. So then I just kept going with it.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're the only college coach that we've wanted to meet up with. So this has kind of worked out. Yeah. I think it probably does have an effect, you know?
I've made it. I feel like I've made it then.
Well, no, this
college coach that Theo Vaughn wants to do a show with.
You don't lose your job by the time this is over. Then
that's the goal.
That's the goal. Yeah. To keep
55 more minutes.
Yeah. 55 more minutes. That's the goal. Is there a difference between the kind of the Twitter lane and I'm the one putting you in a third person. I know you're not doing that. So, but is there a difference between the kind of the Twitter personality and the personality of the actual personality? Like, what's kind of like offline lane?
I would say the Twitter is probably closer to it. You know, people that are around me all the time and stuff say like, what was out there early on, especially about me or what people think really isn't what he is. And you probably hear that a lot, but yeah. So I feel like Twitter is more actually how I am, just kind of, okay, that's funny. I'll like say that or send that out, you know, like, and so I'm not an old school coach in many regards at all, just because I think you should always evolve. You should always not do things because it was in a book of how to do it before and always kind of test things. You know, like around here we say, you know, instead of just thinking outside the box, we create a new box. We challenge everything, different ways of thinking things. So, and social media is part of that because that's not, or how I do a press conference or even doing this. There'd probably be some coaches that even if you did call them up for this, they wouldn't do it because they'd say, okay, well, that's not really the message I want to put out. You know,
yeah. Kim Mulkey won't text me back.
I mean, that should be like a no-brainer.
That's what I'm thinking. In state.
I mean, you got to have amazing like Louisiana following positive numbers. I don't know how they track that, but it's got to be amazing. I mean, you're one of them.
Yeah, I'm not at the Flauja Johnson levels yet. I'll get there though, I think. So why do you think like, because yeah, you do have a unique personality, right? And at least your personality is able to be seen these days. And I think that that's something that just happens more over time with social media and more just, we have more video of people in general now, you know? Mm-hmm. So there's just like so many more little moments that get captured. So you get to know somebody's personality. And that's how I think a lot of fans, I think they gravitate a lot more towards athletes, coaches, anybody really in the world because they get to know their personality, right? We were talking before about social media and how that kind of like why people kind of gravitate towards certain people on social media. And I think some of that's just kind of the answer. It's just there's more out there. And if people are willing to show some of their personality and not kind of follow like this playbook of exactly how things are supposed to be, but remain within HR. HR has a box you have to stay in pretty much.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know if don't make any sense.
As a head coach, you got a lot of people that you've got to please.
Right.
And that's challenging in these type of settings and these things because you want to talk to recruits in that age group, your current players, your fans, but then you also have administration. You've got old donors that have been around a long time, seen things done a certain way for a long time. So there's a lot of challenges in that. And you can't please everybody, which, you know, so I've kind of, right or wrong, I've always said, hey, my job is to wherever I'm working at, meaning my job is to Ole Miss and not to potential future presidents or ADs at other places or other fan bases. And so whether I was at Tennessee or USC or here, wherever I was, it was like, okay, a lot of what I say, other fans don't like. Maybe even other athletic directors are like, well, I don't like that he said that. But our own fans our own administration really like it because it's usually me backing Ole Miss and saying what I think about the program, what it should be, and maybe sometimes taking shots at other programs or something like that.
Yeah.
Just factual information,
Blatantly.
you know, and putting it out there. And so that upsets some people and upsets a lot of other fan bases. Well, that's not my job to worry about them.
Yeah, you have one they didn't hire me. They're not paying the bills. So I've always looked at it, and I think a lot of coaches don't do that. And I'm not saying I'm right. A lot of coaches say, hey, I'm going to say things so that future employers potential that they see it. So then they're going to want to hire me. And I've just never thought that way. Do you, you already had 2 experiences like coaching in the SEC, right? At Alabama and at Tennessee.
Yep.
Like, how's it been different here at Ole Miss? Because, I mean, you know, some people call it the Yale of Mississippi, kind of.
Well, I think, you know, I was, as you mentioned, the head coach of Tennessee, then the offensive coordinator at Alabama. So spent some time there. And those programs really, over a long period of time, had won a lot of games. Alabama, unbelievable championship runs. Coach Saban, probably a decade there that's never going to be done ever again.
Yeah. Too many wins, I think, for a school. Not good for them at a certain point, but
we're not good for a competitive environment throughout the conference when he was taking all the players and winning all the games. No. And Ole Miss had been down.
Right.
You know, somebody said a stat the other day, you know, in the last 4 years. So the seniors in college here, it's been a cool experience for them. They saw a national championship in baseball. They just saw both basketball teams go to the Sweet 16. And in 4 years of football here, we've had 3 top 12 finishes. Well, they only had 1 in the previous 51 years.
Wow.
So there's been 4 in 55 years. They've seen 3 of the 4. So the difference, obviously, in the programs was different, but I really liked that. It was like a challenge because you can come in at the top of a place that's kind of always won, and then you win. It's like, okay, versus, wow, let's like change what's happened. Let's like create a new winning culture, a new way of thinking in how the locker room and the whole university thinks about football and the program. And so we've raised the expectations to where we won 10 games and people are upset around here, you know?
Right.
And so,
yeah, that's a different energy. You guys were 13 points away from 13 more points and you guys are undefeated last year. 13 total. Well, you need 3 to win. So 16 more points last year and you guys would have been undefeated. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, we played 13 games. 10 of them we won by double digits. And then the 3 losses were all 1-score games right at the end of the game.
What's kind of different between coaching like in the Pac-10 or I think it's the Pac-12 or something now? Everybody keeps kind of like changing their names. But
yeah, I don't think it exists anymore. It's like Pac-2 now.
Yeah, Pac-2.
Yeah, it was 8 at one point. Then it was 10. Then it was 12. And
some of those teams should not have been in there.
And now there's like 2. Okay. Everybody else left.
What was it like? What do you notice different between coaching and like the Pac, like a different conference as opposed to the SEC? Like you coached at FAU, you coached in the Pac 10 to 12, 8. You know, what's the difference, you think?
Yeah. You know, there's a saying like in the SEC day coin, like it just means more. And it really does. Like the passion in the towns for the football programs, the attention on it, and really the play over time has been dominant. The SEC's had more draft picks, more championships, all those things. It's just different. It's a way of life down here.
Oh, you let people that can't even read and but they're just yelling, "Go Dogs." I feel if somebody come out of a coma and be like, "Go Dogs" or something, you know?
Yeah.
Or somebody come out of a coma and be like, "Huddy, huddy," and then just pass away. Like people's last words, baby's first words. There's like 30 videos of baby's first words being like SEC chants or whatever. It's a lot.
I was the head coach at USC. You spend time out in LA. So it's just a different world out there. And I remember I was walking through campus and I was like, man, I bet like 50, 70% of these students have no idea who I am. I'm the head coach of the football team. They got no idea who I am. They're going to school at USC, you know, getting their education.
Yeah.
And like here, that like 100% know who you are. You know, like the little kids, like you go to like walk downtown and like a 4-year-old's like, Coach Kiffin. Like they know who you are. So it's like,
they'll complain about your play
for
calling.
people that haven't been down here, maybe that makes sense to them, like to understand that, like you don't go anywhere without everybody knowing who you are, but also like that too. Kid will be like, they're like 8-year-old kid, maybe not 4. They just say, go to hell, Kiffin. But 8-year-old, like, we've been winning, so don't say that. But that'll happen as soon as we lose a couple.
Yeah.
But no, they do. They'll be like, Coach, man, like, what about throwing that tight end on the in route? I'm like, you're like 8. Like, how do you know that? I'm like, well,
it's 11 a.m. What are you doing at this cafe? You should be in school. You should easily, obviously, you're truant. But it's a lot more intense in the South. It's just, they're like, Coach, you're 3 for 14 on third downs. I'm like, I didn't even know that. And they do. But it just means more, the passion for it. And it's also why it's so awesome too. It's why the stadiums are the way that they are. The electricity before games as people walk into the stadiums. Like, it's just different. It's awesome. I love that. Yeah, because you guys have a walk. I mean, I think a couple of teams do a walk now. Do people ever try and tickle you or whatever when you walk by? That's crazy. That's something.
Well, I like moved. This happened at Tennessee and then here. And maybe this isn't like the best thing, but I like moved it a little wider. Like they didn't have like barricades on the walk. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, it's great, man. The fans are like, you interact with them. I'm like, well, this walk is like a half mile. Like you're walking through like 40,000 people.
Yeah.
And like you got to wear a suit and everything. And then like they're like grabbing you and everything. And so like, I moved the barricades
people,
a little.
Petting adults.
Yeah, like a little wider. Plus, I mean, we are in the deep South. So there's a lot of great things. But I mean, there's just some different things too now.
Yeah.
They're like grabbing you and they got chew spit on their hand and stuff.
With me.
Like,
I've never hugged a man. People just yelling stuff like, there's a lot
and it's like, whoa, can we like move these just back a little bit? Maybe I can just do the wave.
Yeah.
Hey guys, good to see you.
Put the defensive tackles along the outside. Yeah, I agree. But you guys, it's definitely a ton of tradition here. I mean, this is like Morgan Freeman's front porch down here in the South. It's a slower lifestyle. Was that a little bit tough for you? I mean, it is, Mississippi is it is like wandering back through time,
Yeah, there's a lot there. I can unpack there. It's
a lot of history.
I moved here.
A lot of tradition.
And everything you have needs just full disclosure anyway. I moved here because it was an SEC head job and I thought we could win and do a great job. I wasn't like, man, I want to move to like, I'm just really dying to move to Oxford, Mississippi.
Right.
But I also didn't know much about it either.
Mm-hmm.
So I judged it that way, just kind of like a lot of people do about Mississippi. And at first it was a lot because I'd spent most of my time before that in South Florida or in LA at USC. And I was like, at first I was like, whew, this is a lot. Like, I mean, long-winded, like a lot of conversations, slow moving.
Oh yeah.
But then you say, thank you. Like it's not over.
Right.
Like, hey, thank you.
Yeah.
And then like, no, they just keep going.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm like, no, really, thank you. I really appreciate it. Like I'm going to go now. Oh, well, what are you doing tomorrow? I just met you. Like,
oh yeah. You can make, everybody's a friend. And there's also so many famous authors though, that's why the South is so full of famous storytellers because everybody is one,
But then it took me I'm so glad that I've been here long enough now, 5 years, going on the 6th year. And now I see it completely different. Now I go back to like South Florida or I go to LA and I'm like, dang, these people are rude. Like everybody's just moving fast. Everybody's just into themselves. Nobody's like saying hi. So it's like what I thought really was kind of bad. Now I'm like, man, I love it now. It's like a warmth, a sweetness, hospitality and people being nice. And I've learned that's actually slowed me down because I was always like, what job can I get? How fast can I move? How many championships to win? Like just always moving. And I was like, maybe they're onto something here. Maybe this slow down thing that I was judging at first, like I made jokes about the rocking chairs, like people sit in rocking chairs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, at
like
first,
the Charlotte airport or whatever.
I saw that. Yeah, I did I was like,
you'll see somebody has a 40-second layover and they're like, I'm going to get a little rest in.
Yeah. And I'm like, I actually saw some right away and people were in them. And I said to somebody right away, I'm like, what are they doing? That looks miserable. Like, that's so slow. And it's just two of them. Sometimes one.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Well, they
don't even have their phone out. Like, well, what are you? And now I'm like, hey, they're onto something.
Yeah.
Just slow down. And so I've kind of said, hey, maybe there's something to the Mississippi lane. I just slow down, taking conversations, listen to people instead of just always talking and moving. And now I love it.
It's definitely like the program it feels a lot different. You know, my best friend has been in hiding for years. He's an Ole Miss like fanatic. He will sit there and, you know, he's betting on test scores. He's betting on all types of stuff. He's betting on SAT over-unders for, you know, foreign exchange students. So he gambles as well, obviously. But now he's like out and proud kind of, you know. He's rocking that powder blue the past few years. He's really feeling the vibes, you know. So
I had a couple of cool things happen like that where I was with Landry, my daughter, at this.
With Landry?
Yes.
Okay.
At Jinsei, the sushi restaurant. And I'm at the restaurant with her, and this kid comes up, and senior in college. And and like the South, because women know the football just as much as the men.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, I just want to thank you. She's like, my 4 years here have been amazing. Like, she's like, this was like a year ago. So her first year had been bad. So she's like, my 4 year, the first year the team was bad. Then you came, and then she's like, you totally changed my college experience. I'm like, dang, that's really cool. You know, that like you said, your buddy now like feels better about wearing an Ole Miss shirt. You know, there's like more pride into it, you know? So that's pretty cool that we've been part of that change and part of that experience for kids that like now they're going to want to come back to games, you know? And so that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like, that's when you want to be there. You want to be there at the angle, you know? That's when you want to be there.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be like, man, when I was in college, man, our team sucked. Like nobody went to the games. It was terrible, you know, like, so it's really cool that we've been part of that. Again, coming into a place that had been down a little bit. That's another cool part of it. Yeah. And also like the players too. When you come in and they've been losing, then the players in the locker room, you come in and they just embrace everything. And then you start winning and they're just so excited because they're not used to it. And so that's a really cool thing about turning programs around and being in those locker rooms.
To see that happen?
Yes. To see their appreciation for that. Again, where if you're just coming in and places on top and they're just winning and they're just winning again, they just expect it. And so they're not as appreciative of those moments because they haven't had it taken away.
Right. You're on a pretty famous like text chain with like other SEC coaches. This is alleged. And, Kirby Smart, Sarkisian. What are the vibes on the chain? I feel like what is it like on there?
I feel like I keep it together. Like I keep the group together because like one will beat the other or they'll say something and they kind of like get mad at each other. And then they won't like text for a week. If like you beat him, then he doesn't text for a week. Or if they're playing each other that week, they certainly aren't going to say anything. And I'm like, guys.
And by you beat him, it means when you guys beat Georgia last year. But go on. I feel it.
But then I just say something that night.
Right.
You know, like, hey, man, like, you'll probably get us next year. You know, like they don't think that's funny. You know, like then one of them side texts me like, hey, man, you shouldn't have said that. Kirby's pissed off, you know? And I'm like, dude, it's just a game. Relax. We're buddies.
Do you guys vote on how another coach gets into the text chain, or what is the?
Yeah, there's been conversations about that.
Really?
I actually have they may not know this. We're giving a lot of information out today. Appreciate you coming, so kind of give you some special insight. Yes. I have multiple ones, so sometimes I'll say something, that guy's not in it, and that guy's, then this guy's in it. And so like, I kind of make sure I know who's in them, when I say certain things. And then, every once in a while I got somebody who does something and then I move them out of the chat.
No.
Yeah. It's happened, Jimbo Fisher removed from chat.
R.I.P.
And then they'll like put them back in.
Yeah. But and just put them on the bench.
And they're like typical coaches. They don't know how to remove somebody or add somebody.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like pretty cool that I can do it. And they're like, how do you do that?
Yeah. Yeah. Lane's one of them tech wizards. Yeah.
Coaches are a little behind time. Like, that's a big deal to be able to remove somebody from a chat. Like, whoa, he must really like have somebody teaching him this stuff.
Who's the most mysterious SEC coach to you, do you think?
Maybe Brian Kelly. Speaking of LSU,
Ooh.
I like Brian, not a South guy, kind of came in. And so I think maybe people don't really understand him. He's just he's a little bit different than maybe your traditional, like Kirby Smart. He's like born and raised SEC.
Oh, yeah. He cuts his own hair.
It looks like it.
Yeah, definitely.
He really does? I'm totally putting that in the chat.
I don't know. It definitely looks
afterwards.
like somebody ran a slant with some scissors across his forehead.
Yeah, like a bull.
Oh,
yeah.
It's unbelievable. And here's the
thing.
thing.
He still has the same haircut from when he was like playing. It's like it never changed.
And it's a children's bowl. Get an adult bowl. What kind of dishware are you guys using at the salon? No, and actually, beautiful man there too. I wanted to say that, Kirby. But
there you go.
But yeah, Brian Kelly, they also put him on that Lazy Susan. Remember when he first came in? It's like, and it's a tough.
I retweeted that.
You what?
I retweeted that when he did that thing. Yeah, he was with the quarter. It was terrible.
Look at that. I thought this was for a strip club. To be honest with you, I thought this was for.
Yeah, I think I wrote something like, "Do you actually know they were filming you? Like, did you put this out on purpose? Like you." You know they're going to film you when you're doing this?
I thought this was a gender reveal, and I was like, well, what is it?
Yeah, and it's not like his first one. He did it like the year before. I'm like, do you realize you're like kind of grinding on the dude?
This was also a strip club advertisement near Natchez, Mississippi, I think, as well. No judgment outside of there. I've spent time there, but yeah, maybe Brian Kelly is kind of mysterious. I think also maybe it's just because had he coached in the SEC before or not?
No, I don't think so. And
he's a nice guy.
You're like at Notre Dame. Like,
right.
You're at Notre Dame and then you're like LSU.
I know.
I
mean, you went from heaven to...
Yeah, that's just like... That's as big a change as you can have. South Bend to Baton Rouge. Like,
oh, yeah.
And the SEC. And so...
Oh, yeah, dude. South Bend just down there into the Mr. Weatherall belt. Yeah, I think that's about... I don't think they make a bigger change than that. Ready to win some real cash during the basketball playoffs? Check out Pick 6 from DraftKings. When it comes to basketball payouts, DraftKings Pick 6 posterizes all the competition. Hit all your picks and score higher minimum payouts on Pick 6. Plus, even more cash if you outscore the competition. Pick 6 is available in most states, including Missouri, California, Texas, Georgia, and more. New players get 50 in Pick 6 credits instantly on just a $5 entry. When I'm using Pick 6, I like to rock with Anthony Edwards, and I run the over, and then I'll also roll with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and run the over, baby. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code Theo. That's code THEO for new customers to play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
This episode is brought to you by Sonic Drive-In. America, you deserve a better burger. One that's made to order. Hand-smashed Angus beef patties hot off the grill with melty cheese. Yeah. Introducing the Smashin'll Burger of America, the Sonic Smasher. You can get the double Sonic Smasher for just $1 starting April 21st for 1 week, only when you order online or in the Sonic app. This is the burger you deserve. The Sonic Smasher is made with Angus beef, smashed and seared, crispy on the edges and juicy in the middle. Layered with melty American cheese, a tangy smasher sauce, crinkle-cut fries, diced onions, and served on a soft potato bun. Yeah. It's the perfect burger bite. Head to Sonic next week to try the double Sonic Smasher for just $1 starting April 21st. 1 week only when you order online or in the Sonic app. Live free, eat Sonic. Tax not included while supplies last. The SEC has historic venues, right? And a lot of one thing that's interesting about the SEC is you'll have people that didn't go to college, but they will show up at the games as if it's their school. And that doesn't happen like in as many other places. It just does not happen.
Yeah.
You have people who can't read, people who can't see. but they'll show up and watch a game somehow. And you don't see that in other conferences.
So that totally happens. And I remember, so my first taste of the South was going to Tennessee as the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm coming from, I was the head coach of the Oakland Raiders, and I've been at USC before that. So I'm like coming from California to like Tennessee. And I remember I'm like, there's a lot of people. They have a spring game. There's like 70,000 people here at the spring game, like 50,000 there 2 hours before. And they're like, yeah, at the big games, like the thing will sell out. Then there'll be another 20,000 outside. And I'm like, oh, I went to school here. I'm like, no,
don't get it.
no.
Yeah.
And then when I went to Alabama, the same thing. They're like, no, half these people didn't go to school here. They lived in the state at one point. So it's their team. It's not because they went to school there. And like, their passion is unbelievable. And I'm like, wait, you didn't even go to school here? No. But
I didn't go to school at all. So,
but my daddy knew somebody that did.
yeah.
And I'm like, wait, your dad went? No, he didn't either.
No,
so
didn't.
No one in your family ever went
No, sir.
to Alabama.
No, sir.
But you, like, your whole week, your whole year is affected whether they win or lose. Like, just angry the rest of the year, whether they win or lose that, like, Alabama-Tennessee game.
Yes,
like,
sir.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
But it doesn't impact you, like, your job. Do you work for it? No.
I don't work, sir. But I cheer for the Tide. I mean, they got that one guy, that Roll Tide Willie now, and he was in the military with my dad's buddy. But what's your favorite place to play, do you think, in the SEC outside of Vaught Hemingway?
Well, I don't know about favorite, because favorite would be like
Anarchal, right? It's Anarchal for you guys.
Yeah, like favorite might be somewhere really easy. Like,
Right.
no, the most intense places.
Yeah, or just which one do you get out there and you're like, man, this is freaking majestic. How about that? Let's use that word.
This is why you have like such a different audience of like so many different areas of stuff, because like you use big words too.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
like, yeah, you're educated.
Majestic. M-U-H.
Majestic place.
No, yeah, what's a big...
Neyland Stadium in Tennessee is
beautiful.
like amazing. Like, it's just like when we would bring recruits there, it is majestic. Like, there you go. Like, and then at night, and then there's the river and the boats, and then the intensity in there. So I was the head coach here at Ole Miss, and we went to play at Tennessee, and it was like on from warmups. Like, everyone was there, over 100,000 people, and there was like this hatred towards me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I felt like the Gladiator, the movie, you know, like they were getting ready for like a thumbs down, you know, like, let's kill him.
Yeah.
And then it like,
And it's probably 12,000 people are carrying weapons in there at that time.
they had a real conversation with me during the week about bulletproof vests. Like, but again, I'm like, there's no way, guys. Come on, man. It's football. And they're like, they had like 3 cops with me and everything. Like,
They're like, it's deer season,
I'm
sir.
like, they ain't gonna really do that. Maybe like a golf ball, you know, they're gonna throw at me, or a bottle or something.
No.
Yeah. So they're walking in, and I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, now I could feel,
Ooh.
yeah, they were like chanting, like, you know, like, fuck Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
And like, that was actually like, felt kind of like intense and cool. Like 100,000 people chanting that.
Oh, yeah. If a
You
bunch
know?
of people hate you at once, it's easier to go. It's easier to digest.
And then they're like, the student section was like, hey, you know, last night we were with your wife. And I was like, man, that's pretty funny. Like, to come up with stuff, you know, like, so it was intense. And it was like, and it just kept building. So maybe like everybody didn't hate me at the beginning, but then, you know, it's like a crowd, like storm, they feel it. And then the hatred just kept building. And then it was like really close game at the end. And then we won.
You guys won?
Yeah. And then they got pissed and they like threw things at me, like golf ball.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like anything they could get, like
And
mustard.
school books, which we need in Tennessee, first of all.
They didn't have school books.
Oh, okay.
No. Mustard bottles.
Oh, really?
Like, how do you even have a mustard bottle? Like, you just brought that to the game? Like, hey, hon, we're gonna like go to the game and sneak the mustard bottle in.
Oh, you're in the damn condiment belt over there
Isn't
in
mustard
Tennessee,
free? Like,
I don't know.
like, are you saving money?
Oh, you should see where they keep their relish at, brother.
And the golf, like, and I was like, they throw this golf ball that became famous that like they throw at me, and I'm like, afterwards, I'm like, okay, mustard, like, okay, what am I sneaking in to the game? A golf ball, like, what do you have a golf ball for?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm carrying a golf ball because I don't think they're thinking I'm going to throw it. Like, I'm going to be pissed off in the fourth quarter and throw it.
Right. They just had it on them.
Yeah, but then I look closer, it was a range ball. So I feel like, you know what it was? It's like the cheap guy that like steals the range ball. So like, okay, this way I don't like have these to hit, like, you know, instead of like having to buy a golf ball. So I'm going to steal the range ball like for next time I go and play around. So it was just in his pocket. That was my guess.
I think that's probably accurate. Oh, there you are right there with it. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you keep that?
Yeah.
You still have it?
I did.
Hell yeah, dude. That's cool. How scary is it? How quick do you want to get off the field when you beat a team in their stadium? Is there a weird energy there for a little? Like, is it kind of?
That one was. Yeah. Yeah. That one definitely was. Most of the time it's not really. Sometimes I kind of like it, you know, like kind of walk off a little slow, you know, just so like you feel the, like that win that you just like ruined 100,000 people's, like, especially in the SEC, like week, not just day.
Oh yeah. Their traffic home. Yeah. That's a lot. And especially a woman who was going to give birth that week because her husband would be in a good mood. And now she's got to hold it another week. That's the toughest part.
Like, hey, we cannot have, we lost this week.
Yeah. We ain't having a baby under these circumstances.
You keep it in there.
Yeah. Hold the line.
We got Bama next week. We win that. You can have it Saturday night.
Yeah. We'll get that thing out. We'll do the tush push. That'll help. What's one of the most aggravating traditions that you think, and what's one of the best traditions you think in college football? If you're even up on them. I know there's a ton of them out there.
Well, this is like a big tradition, like as far as everywhere, not specific places. Like I love the band thing, you know, before, like it's just really cool when they have the band out there and they spell things. Speaking of the Tennessee, the opening of the tee and then run out, like that was really cool to like see. You're like right there and then like the band just opens up the tee and you run out. Like that's a really cool tradition.
And is there one that's kind of aggravating that you see at a place somewhere? It could be SEC or anywhere.
The fan storming thing is a little bit tough. You know, like they don't do it in the NFL. They found a way. Like I get it. It's pretty cool. But then it can be aggravating because like they're storming and like, then you're worried about like them hitting you. What's going on? What are they going to do? It's like very invasive at that point. But I think like if they could just let everybody out and then let the fans on so they still get to tear the goalposts down because that stuff's cool and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at the Alabama Vanderbilt game and that was pretty sick. And some guy on the sideline squeezed me so hard, bruised one of my ribs really bad or dislocated it, right? So I was like doing like that or whatever. And then every other player kept hugging me. So it was just one after the other, just the biggest guys you ever even seen just hugging you.
Yeah, they're all excited.
Yeah, and it was just, oh, dude. That was a really tough day. That was a tough year, actually. That took about 8 weeks to get better from.
Yeah, but you were at a historic like moment.
It was so cool.
That will probably never happen ever again.
I mean, see.
It's a once in a lifetime.
Well, Diego Pavia got that 6th year, that 8th year, I think he got.
Yeah, you never know.
Did that, were you surprised when he got that? Did it affect any of the way that, were your players able to apply for anything like that? We tried. We didn't win it. Jack Starr actually tried to get another year, or at least see if the option was there. And, you know, they denied it. But yeah, there we are. We iced that dude up. Clark Lee.
Good dude.
I love Clark.
Yeah.
He
Old
is.
School, good guy.
They got a fun group over there. And that's kind of underdog energy over there too, you know?
Big time.
Is there an SEC team that you also cheer for on the low kind of?
Them. I do. Yeah, Vanderbilt. Because I think they have like so much stacked against them, you know, like they got higher academic qualifications to get guys in, so they can't just get all the players everybody else can, you know, like harder, you know, because the stadium's usually half full and stuff. So I root for them, especially Clark, because that's a hard job. Yeah. And so that's pretty cool for them to win like they did this year.
Yeah, it's exciting over there. Yeah, they carry the goalpost and then they try to valet park the goalpost. I heard they got tired of it or whatever.
I didn't know that.
And they try to valet them at a restaurant. I'm like, you can't, who are you going to give it to those 3 guys up front or whatever? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, but that might be the only like SEC town that has valet.
That's a good, that's a,
like when you say that doesn't fit. There ain't no valet in most of these towns. Valet.
That's a great point, dude.
You just spell valet.
Yeah, they tried to valet them at a, I think at a McCormick and Schmick's or something over there. So definitely kind of interesting. I want to talk about Coach Saban. You worked with Coach Saban for a while. I mean, you guys have had like kind of a storied history. Over the years, I think. Do you guys still communicate?
Yeah, we do. He's not a big like text guy, but we talk every once in a while.
Is he? What is he? He's not text. He's like to write. Is he more written kind of or?
No, you got to call him.
Okay.
He did just learn how in the last like 2 years to text. He had never texted before.
Wow.
Ever. Like when I was assistant coach there, and he's just like, I'm not texting. Like he just refused. It was like that old school. Like he's got those old school things that aren't changing. And then I like got a text like 2 years ago from him that said good luck or something like that. And I was like, to the group, I was like, dude, I got a Saban text. Like, this is amazing. This is like Vanderbilt beating Alabama. Like, this isn't supposed to happen. Never thought I'd see this day. And then Kirby's like, yeah, I got one earlier this year too. Like he's like learned how to text, just like you get 1 or 2 words. But that relationship's like almost in a way, kind of like how you can struggle sometimes, like maybe when you're in it with like a parent and then you get out, like you get older and you get away, you get out of the house.
Yeah.
And then you're like, dang, man, he was onto something. He was right on those things. So I look back at, I was there for 3 years and there was friction initially. And I look back, to all my fault. I'm the assistant. You know what I mean? Like he's the head coach, you know, whatever he says goes.
Oh yeah. You're supposed to keep it classy over there.
And yes. And that's not, his way is very like, this is the way, like there's not open discussions about it and stuff. And I'd worked for Pete Carroll as assistant. So that's all I knew. And it's just totally different. So like you come in, you have an open conversation, and then you're questioning the process. No, I just was asking, like, have we looked at this? You know, like, so I didn't really know how it worked right away. And so it took a little bit of time.
Like he didn't want a lot of suggestions.
No. It's not like a suggestion box. Like, hey, let me pull this. Oh, here's a good idea. You know, like, so it was just something I wasn't used to that way. And so it took a little bit of time. But now that I look back, I'm like, okay, he was so strict on everything, kind of like in a parent way, like with his team, with the players, the coaches, like nothing changed. We won a national championship and there's a 7:30 staff meeting the next morning. I'm like, what are we meeting on at 7:30 the next morning? He's like, we're behind. You know, because we won the championship, everybody else was recruiting and we're behind. And I was like, well, what are we doing? But now I look back and be like, that's why he is what he is. That's why he was so great. Because it was like the standard never changed no matter what. And then it took me some time to understand too, like when we were winning and playing really well and coaching really well, he was harder on you because he didn't want you to have relief syndrome. You know, like, oh man, we've made it. And I didn't really understand. Would he call it that relief syndrome? I saw he was on the pivot like a month ago and I listened to it with my son Knox and he talked about it in there. He'd never explained it to us, but it was interesting to hear. And he said, most people are born with a relief syndrome. He wasn't. He just always had this way of thinking like, hey, you never relax. Like, but most people are. So he went above and beyond to make sure people didn't have that. Like we'd win a game and then he comes in and just like rips us.
Yeah.
And we're like, man, we played great. Like coach great. That was because he was guarding against that because he knew that could happen.
Dang.
Yeah.
He wasn't letting anything be a possibility.
When I left, we'd won 26 straight games. So I hadn't had many losses. But I do remember the 3 losses that we had over the 3 years. Like he actually, after those, was calm. Like that's when we didn't get ripped. Because he's like, they're going to get ripped anyway. I don't need to. You know, like I need to, when they're feeling good about themselves, bring them down. So I didn't really understand that at first. And now I look back going, man, there's a reason he's the greatest.
Wow. Yeah. Do you regard him as the greatest? Yeah.
I do. I think because, the Bear Bryants, the like legends back then, no offense, they had like unlimited scholarships. Coach Saban did it in an era where there were reduced scholarship numbers. He also did an era when you're losing coaches left and right. You know, he lost so many assistant coaches and he just kept winning. And I don't think anybody will ever be able to do that again. And he couldn't even do that again the way that it's going anyway. Right. And now this with the money part and all that stuff, that's like evening things out that people can't stack the teams like he did. Because now your second team and third teams, maybe before where they had to sit there and wait, they couldn't leave back then. Now they leave. So you lose your backups because someone gives them more money. But
how was he able to convince players to sit there, be just as good and sit second or third position? That's tough, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Part of his time, they couldn't leave yet.
Oh,
you couldn't transfer. Now you can transfer twice twice a year. So he still was able at the end to convince some guys to stay, but he started losing back, so the teams weren't as deep.
Did he have to recruit the whole time, or at a certain point did the acumen of their coach, of their winning, just be the recruiter for him, do you think?
That helped a lot, but he never changed. That was him. Like, there was no relief. It never changed. Like, he recruited every day, no matter what. And he was nonstop and he's relentless. People always say, okay, well, why did he win so many championships? Why was he so good? And it's like, well, there's the process. There's the assistant coaches. There's the discipline, all these different areas.
Right.
But really, the number one thing that mattered the most, he out-recruited people. He got better players.
Right.
When you get better players, you win a lot of games. And it wasn't, they weren't just coming there just to come there. They came there because he recruited really hard.
Got it. What was he like? I mean, did you ever get to spend any time with him? Like, was he good at cards or anything like that? Or did he do anything else besides, like, did he ever take his whistle off, you think? Like, even in the shower, you know?
Coach didn't do a lot of other things. I know he golfed. I never golfed with him, but he golfed.
Did he ever invite you for, like, did he ever dress up for Halloween? Like, was there anything you ever saw Coach Saban do that was like, felt a little bit more, not as much like, who's that guy? Robert Downey Jr. What's the character he plays? That was outside of Iron Man, you know?
It's interesting, Nick Saban, and people would joke Nick Satan, he was born on Halloween.
Was he really?
His birthday every year is Halloween.
No.
Yeah.
So maybe his whole freaking existence was a costume.
Maybe. But he did not, he wasn't going to wear a costume or something like that on Halloween. So there was no like,
how could
he didn't have like Halloween parties and
on
stuff.
On your own
like,
birthday, even put on a little cattail or something.
Because no day was different. Every day was the same.
Wow.
I will say this. I went to Easter one time at his house. And my kids, they were still living in California with my wife. And because I took the Alabama job. And then they came for Easter.
Yeah.
And he invited us over. And we went over there. And he was different. Now, he didn't put on like a bunny costume. But like he was helping the kids with like the Easter eggs. And he had one grandkid at the time. And he was like carrying around and it was totally different than the office Nick Saban that we would see all the time. So that was pretty cool to see that side of him. Now, he's also so competitive that his grandkid was like 1, and all of a sudden the grandkid found the golden egg, while he was with Coach way over there, so Coach also was going to make sure that he won.
Yeah.
But It was pretty cool to see him like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be different. You can't, when Jesus is making a comeback, you can't play defense on that day, Yeah. That's when you got to just call the dogs off, I feel like.
Yeah.
But it is definitely skeptical that a 1-year-old found a golden egg. Was he playing against other kids, like of age children?
Yeah, mine were like 8, 10, and 12.
Oh, God. Yeah. That's sad. But yeah, winners win, That's what they say. Do you think that Coach Saban misses coaching?
I do. I think that, and he mentioned that in that Pivot podcast, but I did always think, okay, if he was going to do this, he was going to have, and I used to say he's going to have to kind of have that college game day spot because he's going to want to still like be involved. He's just so wired to all day long to do something for his entire life. Now he's not going to sit around and just, be a grandpa.
Yeah.
That's not him. So I think because of that, that's helped a lot. I wouldn't actually be surprised if he came back in the NFL even, as head coach. Because he's so good at it and so in him that I'm not sure he won't come back.
What I want to talk about the NIL, and then I want to talk about your team in Ole Miss here. Does God, I sound like a sports guy or something. What am I even doing today?
You're getting really like
I know.
I feel like going into this, we were gonna go a lot of different directions, and now you've come back to like I think people are probably turned off by now.
I know.
Like,
I feel lame.
Dude, hey, tell us about your depth at safety this year.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about third down package? Nobody wants to hear that.
I don't know. My first down package is pretty small. I'll tell you that. That's an old wiener joke.
Here we go. Now we're more.
There we go.
Yes, they're turning back on.
I want to tell you about the NIL. Do you have to spend more time recruiting players or boosters these days with NIL?
Yeah, a lot of booster part because they got to get the resources to pay. Now that's going to get a little bit moved now with revenue sharing and coming from the school. But these last few years has been, okay, well, the boosters have to create these collectives and have to source the money to pay the players. So if you don't have the money, you don't have the payroll, it's hard to get players. And if you see, it's not hard. Look at who just won in basketball, the programs that made the Final Four. Look at what, the Final Four college football teams, like they're major programs that have a lot of financial resources. So, you got to do a lot of that, and then you got to convince the players. Now, where it's different is the old school, unfortunately, kind of the old school recruiting of the relationships and having a relationship 3 years since the kid was a sophomore in high school and stuff. It's not as important anymore because now I'm like, okay, well, what are you paying me? This school's this school's this school's this. And most of the time I usually go to the higher number.
And is that just a real question out of the gate is what is the offer?
Yeah.
Wow. And do most of them have agents or they have to do that directly by themselves?
Yeah, it's now just transitioned to where most of them have agents now.
That's trash.
It's really, we're in my office right here. So I sit here all the time and the recruits sit over there where your guys are and the parents. And I said this to our staff the other day, like I've sat in so many of these meetings, like whatever, say the last 100. And I never hear anymore, what's your graduation rate? I never hear anymore, like what's the academic plan? And it's just kind of sad. These are the parents. It just is what it is. And then I go, okay, well, when's our NIL meeting?
Yeah.
What's the number? What's the second year number? Like, I'm not mad about it, but it's just kind of sad.
Yeah, you just recognize it.
And I'm also recognizing it to say, I don't believe long-term that's good for the kids. So
Right.
this has been great for players to make some money, but it's so much money and it's so much focus on the money that then it's like, okay, well then what's next? If I were getting the money when I'm 18, then what?
Right.
You've seen this all the time. People get too much too early and then what? They crash. So
Crash out.
Yes. And I feel like we're creating a lot of that in this. And now a kid's sitting there listening to his parents they want to know the money. Like, so
Type
what's the kid
shit,
supposed
man.
to want to know?
Yeah, it's crazy. I agree. Yeah, it's bonkers, dude. If I'd have had some money, I'd have fucking left school the second you gave me that check. I'd have driven across country and got me some damn dope, boy.
But I'm sure at that time you thought, man, if I just had $1 million, man, I'd have no problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then life would be great. I heard all the time with these players, if I just get money, man. Players, I hear it from adults. If I get money, man, all my problems, then I'll be good. Okay. We'll see.
We'll see.
When I go in the homes and recruiting over all these years, I see the most problems in the families with the most money. Most money, most success. And then I don't feel any warmth in that room. I don't feel the connection with the kids. And then I'll go to a house here in Mississippi or Louisiana, and there'll be 10 people living in this 2-bedroom house. And you just feel like the warmth and like the closeness and everything. And they ain't got hardly anything financially. But then they have this love and this family. And I've just done this for a long time. And I see it usually the other way around. The bigger the houses, the more cars, the more money, the more problems.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they said. Jay-Z said it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Biggie said it. Somebody, whoever said it got murdered. I remember that. April is Financial Literacy Month. And that makes me think, well, how did I first learn about money? Well, I guess, I got a little job that a lady paid me to catch these cats she had, and she gave me a little bit of money. And I would take that money and I would store it. I had one of those Crown Royal bags, one of the purple bags that came in, and I'd put all my money in there and save it. Today's episode is sponsored by Acorns. April is Financial Literacy Month. That's right. They made a whole month reminding you to finally take control of your money. Good news is you don't need 30 days. Acorns makes it easy to start saving and investing for your future in just 5 minutes. And you don't need to be an expert. Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that matches you and your money goals. You don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you get started with the spare money you've got right now, even if all you've got is spare change. I've got it set up for my nieces and nephews so they can learn how to save. Sign up now and join the over 14 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested over $25 billion with Acorns. Plus, Acorns will boost your new account with a $20 bonus investment. Offer available at acorns.com/THEO. That's ACORNS.com/THEO to get your $20 bonus investment today. This is a paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 4 compensation provided. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/THEO. This summer, I'm going to get to the beach. I'm going to get out there and let the sun hug on my body. That's what I'm going to do. And if I get dehydrated, I know what I'm going to do as well. Liquid IV. If you're prepping for a big summer, means planning to stay hydrated so you can get the most out of your body and live more during those warm summer months, visit liquidiv.com and maximize your summer plans with sugar-free hydration featuring the new Raspberry Lemonade Hydration Multiplier. I love Liquid IV. They got them true to fruit flavors that keep you hydrated, like acai berry and lemon lime and pina colada. Break the mold and your own ritual. Get ready for summer with extraordinary hydration from Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code Theo at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code THEO at liquidiv.com.
What's one of the biggest things that keeps players that are good players from succeeding, do you find?
Their minds.
Yeah?
Yeah. A lot of them run fast, jump, throw, and it's their minds and then getting in their own way. And then here comes this. Now you got money too. But here comes this ego coming in because I'm a 5-star. I got all these scholarship offers, like the entitlement of that, and the ego comes in and out. Now they got the money too. So it's like they had this drive to get to the NFL because they want to play in the NFL and they want to get the money. Well, I'm getting the money already. So now I've lost some drive there.
Right.
And they just get in their own ways, and they get so much attention so early and so much. And then it's like they just think it's going to last forever.
Yeah.
And they just screwed up. So they get in their own ways.
Dang,
it's usually that one word, ego.
What's the craziest thing a player's ever asked you for, just like point blank? Have they ever been like, I need give me a Jaguar, coach, or something like that? Like the animal or the car?
Not the animal. I wouldn't say crazy. Like I don't have a good story, like a crazy thing, but it just what continues to blow my mind and nowadays is they want more when they haven't done anything new. Meaning like, okay, here's what I got. I got this to come, to transfer, to come out of high school. And then they come in like, okay, well, I need more. And they're like, well, you didn't do anything. Like, you didn't have a good year. Well, why would you get more? Like, it's just that mindset of like, I just deserve more. Like I deserve more and more because there's no appreciation in there for where they're at, or like, man, I got to play better to get more. Just I'm supposed to get more. And that happens all the time. There's 2 transfer portal windows. So like if you could negotiate your contract twice a year, every year, but then for 6 months, you haven't done a show. You haven't done anything, but after that 6-month period, you want a new contract and a new deal bigger than what you had, but you hadn't done anything.
Yeah.
Or maybe you screwed the shows up.
Right.
Through interceptions, but you still want more. So it's just, and it's not even their fault. There's the parents. Now you got agents. Like,
do you still feel like a coach, or do you feel like a banker more?
It's not really like a banker, but you spend so much time not coaching. And I think that's part of the Nick Saban and, getting out. It's just like, it just changed, because these conversations and these things, and you see the like greed for it, but it's unique because from someone that's been fortunate to make money, have success, get to the highest levels, like it's like I keep trying to tell them like that's not going to be the answer.
Right.
Like that new contract, getting that much more money isn't going to change anything. You're not going to, be happier because of, but it's like they don't.
You can't hear it.
Yes.
Kids can't hear
Cannot.
it. Man.
I can sit in these two chairs right here to most of them. Some will, but most of them. And they just look at me like, there's no way. I'm like, listen to me, until you fix these internal problems, until you fix how you think that everybody's against you or whatever it is, these issues that they each have. And I'll try to like work through them. I'm like, that money, that new contract, that next car, that next girl, like that's not going to fix that. And like, if I get picked in the first round, I get that contract, everything is fixed.
Yeah.
Coach, I don't care what you say.
Type shit.
Trust me.
Yeah, they say it's all a wrap. Yeah. Everybody thinks they'll have it figured out.
I get more bands, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, boy, give me $1,000 right now.
That's all I need.
I run a 50 right now. I run a 6,150. How fast is that?
6,150. We don't really grade in 50. You mean 40?
I don't know.
That's good. You confuse people.
Yeah,
it might be good, it might be bad.
I don't know what
I don't know if you're
what?
slow or fast. 6,150.
So what is some of your push for players to come here to Ole Miss these days? Like, what is it, what do you sell them on about being here?
Yeah, this is a really cool place to go to school. And so I got to see that as a parent. My daughter, Landry's a sophomore here. So,
oh yeah, I've seen her on TikTok before. I've seen y'all on there doing makeup or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like I said, the social media thing, I kind of live like a young person in a lot of ways, like just enjoy. Yeah. Like I just try to have joy. It
seems like kind
and
of
I'm like,
sweet.
back to a lot of people, like, you're supposed to be old, you're supposed to be an adult. Like you can't do like a makeup TikTok with your daughter. And I'm like, I'm going to be gone someday. I'm going to be dead, or I'm going to be at the end of it. Those last couple years, you think I'm going to be like, man, I wish I would have spent. Yeah. You think I'm going to be like, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that with my daughter because some fans think that's like, I'm soft.
Yeah, dude. I think a lot of, I bet 4 of the first round picks this year will be wearing blush.
I did see, like now they're wearing like nail polish.
Oh, half of them wearing nail polish, eyeliner, booty liner. Some guy had on the other day. They caught him. Some guy I think that played for Northwestern or Nicholls State or something. But and I'm like, what is that? Who's putting rouge on their butt cheeks? So I think you're way safe here, Coach.
But that's just kind of like how I don't know, you like, it seems like you have that too, where it's kind of like, man, we're supposed to be growing up and there's certain aspects we are, but then these other areas, it's like, what's wrong with having youthful fun? And, like we go out and play pickleball and somebody's like, I see some old people look at me like, man, he's playing out there with his kids and like, he's like dancing to the music, to like Taylor Swift playing or something, like, I'm like, why? Just because I'm like getting older, I'm not supposed to like have fun.
Yeah.
Or like when you come to yoga in the morning and like we're crushing you in yoga and I'm kind of like dancing back, like talking shit, celebrating over you. Like, and if that happens in the morning, you might crush it in the morning. I don't know.
I mean, look, I don't want to have to do yoga or have to wear cleats is the only thing that I'm
There's
thinking.
no cleats.
Okay.
No cleats.
That's
no
all I'm
socks
wondering.
even.
But no, I think you're right, man. Yeah, I think, it also goes back to what you said. It's like, you don't like to follow this old playbook about things. You like to have this new playbook about things. What's kind of like part of that you offer your players or people that want to come down here? Do you sell them like, hey, this is a team that's like, this is a program that's obviously it's gone, the trajectory's gone up, especially in the past 5 years for sure, in the past decade. What do you kind of push them on? How do you get players to come here to Ole Miss? Because it's always been a little bit more of the underdog in the SEC.
Yeah. I think the kids really we created an atmosphere that you want to be at, not have to. Same with our employees. Like I feel like in the morning, if you ask them when they're getting up and they're driving their cars over, whether it's players or staff, like they want to be here.
Yeah, the GM had a damn Zen in, I think.
Yeah, he does. He's working on it.
Yeah.
He's trying to quit. He's trying to quit some other things.
Yeah, look, we've all been through things, Coach.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
But that atmosphere of comfortable and like the players, like I've been around both, and I've been around them as an employee where you're miserable driving in like, oh, another day. Like, and it's just like, to me, you're not very productive that way. Like I want our players to come here and like, they play their own playlists, like in practice and stuff, like it's a players team with discipline. But the same thing around the office, like people, we don't even have hours. Like you don't even have like, you leave when you're done with your work. You don't have like, okay, you leave at this time. Because then people just sit there and guard their desk, until the time goes. So I just try to create an atmosphere that people really want to be at. And they have a lot of fun doing it. And it's really, to me, it's awesome if you can win and have fun. Because some programs, like they win, but they're still miserable. And I've seen that. So we try to create this atmosphere and I think people love it.
is it tough to be like a coach and a dad? Because you have 3 children, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is it tough to be like a coach and a dad and a coach and a husband? Like, what is the cross of like those jobs like for a coach? Because it takes a lot of time.
Yeah. I think like a lot of questions, I answer them differently now than I did 5, 10, 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know, as I look back, and I use my failures and experiences, now it's awesome because I get to use to help others.
Yeah.
And I help our players when they're going through it. So I like that I had a lot of stuff happen to me, or self-inflicted stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That like I struggled with for a long time. But then as I like now see, like I get to help, like, because a coach knows my story or players know my story, and they come in and I can help them with things. Like when you say, okay, how did like the balance of a husband, father, and head coach? Well, I failed at that because I'm as a head coach, like I was a head coach, Tennessee, USC, and I was like, that was my higher power, man. I'm the head coach, USC. Like,
yeah.
that's who I am. Not like, oh, I'm a husband, not I'm a father. Like that became my higher power. That was the most important thing to me. And I could feel it because I'd be like, ooh, we'd win. So then like the LA Times Sunday morning, man, Coach Lane Kiffin, you know, like, and like, well, what do you want? And I remember him asking me like, what do you want someday? And I'm like, a statue, like Nick Saban. Because then I made it. Like they built a statue of me because I won so many games and championships.
Yeah.
That's what I want. But I was totally missing it. Because if you ask me that now, what do you want? You know what I want? I want to be a really good dad. I want to be a really good boss, a really good friend, a really good neighbor. The other stuff happens with the wins. That's fine. But I was so focused on that it controlled everything. I just slept at the office all week long because like we had to win. That's all that matters. And
like John Daly used to sleep at a Hooters.
yeah, that was a little different.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
very
Yeah,
different.
he didn't even work there.
Yeah,
so.
it's not like he was, you know, working on chipping at Hooters.
Yeah, that's
His
true.
short game.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. So I don't know why I said that, but yeah, people sleep at the office.
Yeah. I think John Daly still goes to Hooters for like John Daly 2-hour like signing special. I love JD, by the way.
Oh,
He's
of course,
awesome.
dude.
He's awesome.
We talk
Actually
about
got
him
to
every
know him.
single week. There he is, right there. Huh?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, he's got
Yeah.
he's got that 2-pack right there. Boy, he's off a couple of honey packs right there. Look at him.
Yeah. That's where I won't comment. Head coach.
Okay.
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 So anyway, so that's where this failure came in because it was like, okay, if you're going to if this is the most important thing to you, then I like look back and shoot, no wonder like I ended up getting divorced. No wonder that, you know, I ended up having a strained relationship with my kids. And then I kind of figured this out later on and started going, okay, wait a second. This is just part of who I am, you know, being a coach. And then I started to work on the other areas of my life. Got sober from a lot of things, really. Just not just physical sober, like stop drinking, but like emotionally sober, you know, like, and that's still a constant battle, like working on that, like, and things not making me go way up, way down, like every day. But, and people say, okay, well, what do? You don't drink. Like, what do you do like Thursday night? And I was like, what's replaced that is like amazing, like going to dinner with Landry or watching a movie with her friends. Like, you know, like I just had this shift and it really helped me. And actually I'm a better coach out of it, which you wouldn't think would be like, cause you think, okay, well, if you put everything into it, but then you lose balance and you're just kind of off and everything is so defined on a win or loss that like, it's everything. I remember like losing a really, really important game. And I remember at the time, like saying to my wife, she's like, and I'm like, I don't want to wake up. We actually lost USC. We lost to Texas. We were in our 3rd straight national championship and lost in the Rose Bowl national championship. Vince Young couldn't tackle him. And I'm like, I don't want to wake up tomorrow. She said, what is wrong with you? We had one kid at the time, Landry. And she's like, you have a kid. Like you have a whole life. Like we lost the game, 3rd straight national championship. How long is it going to take to ever get there again?
Yeah.
But I was just so out of whack on that. Because I mentioned earlier that the ego had gotten so big when I became a head coach and all the money and success and attention that like it just built and like you got to keep feeding it. And so it's really been cool to get out of that spot.
Yeah. And what do you attribute to helping you get out of it? Probably
Lifestyle change. I came to Mississippi and decided like, okay, I started eating more of the food, not working out. Like, and I just was like, man, I'm not the best version of myself. I didn't have this like rock bottom moment, that people have sometimes. I just was like, man, I don't really like this lower version of myself. I want to be the highest version of myself. So I changed my diet. I stopped the alcohol. I started working out. And really what I started to do is to pour into other people instead of just pouring into myself.
Dang, coach, you're making me feel bad about my life, bro.
You're younger than me. You used to get there.
But
It's a daily battle.
It is, man. And especially that emotional sobriety. That's my biggest issue, dude. I have a certain emotion and I get literally drunk off of it or high off of it, or the other way, I get depressed. It's like those are like my drugs a lot of times. Any feeling that I have.
I'm still there. Like that's a daily battle.
God, boy.
And I really got on this after the physical sobriety, after a couple years of, I got really healthy, working out all the time and don't drink. But it was like, okay, but I still was letting people, situations like, man, well, that went my way, so everything's good.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that didn't go that way. We lose that recruit or have an argument with this person and like everything's terrible. And I was like, man. And I had somebody tell me like, just remember the tide goes in and out every day. Like it's going to. And like, do you just get freaked out by that? Or are you just like, hey, the tide came in, tide went out. And so I really try to do that because like I'll do the yoga, everything's good, man. And then I'll come in here and then this player has this issue, or a kid has this issue, and then it's like, or this doesn't go this way. That, especially like if you're like me, which I feel like you are from your last answer, when somebody doesn't do what you want them to do. Like, wait, everything would be good, man. If he just wouldn't say that.
Sorry, and I'll bleep this.
If she does this, if he does that, and they do that, I'll be good.
Yeah.
Well, wait, they don't?
And it never is going to happen. It's just total unrealistic expectations of what I have a lot of times.
Yeah.
And that's one of my biggest things is unrealistic expectations.
Like
constantly.
Expecting the tide not to come in.
Yes. Or
that's what it'd be like.
Everybody to do things exactly. Expecting that people know how I want things done after I haven't shared how I want them done. That's my biggest thing. Like expecting somebody to know what I want them to do, but I've never even told them exactly what I want.
Yeah.
And that's a crazy person would think that way. So yeah.
Or I did this.
I'm not doing good.
And then they don't deal and then they don't act how I want them to act after what I did.
Yeah. Have you been having all this shared with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is a major problem in that when you become and you're in charge of a company, you're head coach, like, and all the people are working for you. So your whole day, they really are doing what you want. And then now in your personal life, outside of it, maybe somebody doesn't do what you want and then you lose your mind. That's where I was off with the emotional part.
Yeah.
And had to like work on that part.
Yeah, I can't imagine having to be a coach. It would be hard. I can't even coach myself. So you've really taken to Oxford, coach. I noticed that your son is moving here, right? Mm-hmm. Is that true?
Yeah. So my daughter goes to school here.
Okay. And she's a sophomore.
She's a sophomore.
Okay.
My other daughter's going to college at USC. And then my son is moving here. He's actually on a spring break here right now. Mm-hmm. And he's moving here next month.
And he's going to go to Oxford High?
He is.
Nice. Yeah. And he plays football too or no?
He does. Yeah. Yeah. He's quarterback. He's got a chance to be good. So that'll be exciting to be able to watch all his games here. And he's always up here working out with his buddies. So,
that's going to be great just to be around that many other players and stuff.
It's awesome. My dad was a coach. So I grew up as a coach's kid. That to be around those locker rooms and to be around those players and to learn from them, it's so awesome and so motivating.
Yeah. Do you have a good relationship with your dad? I know your dad was Monty Kiffin.
Yep.
And did you guys have a good relationship?
Amazing.
Oh,
so
nice.
he passed in July, and
was he sick? Was he pretty sick at the end of his life?
He had dementia, and so he slowed down a lot. But here's what's really cool. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, like the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Like we probably have the pain of regret from things we weren't disciplined at in life. Mm-hmm. If you look back, man, if I would have done that, or like I would have got, made different decisions. So now you have the pain of the regret of that.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of times people with parents, sometimes like when they pass, they have the pain of regret. Man, I wish I would have been around him more. I didn't go to see him. Well, my dad worked for me all the way up till the end of 84. So all these last 3 stops, he was here in the building helping us coach.
Oh, that's cool.
So every day I would see him 15 times a day.
Oh, yeah.
And he was such a coach that like, even his doctor would say that was keeping him alive because he could come into the office every day. He's 84 years old with dementia, still coming in the office.
Yeah.
And he just was like, he was the ultimate coach, the old school coach.
Yeah.
And so I got to be with him every day all the way up. So because of that, of bringing him to all the places, making sure he was at work every day and everything, like.
That was here at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So if you don't come here, who knows if that even setup is even kind of perfect for that?
Yeah. But that's where I've gotten to, like, who knows what's supposed to be perfect. What I thought, what we thought as our plan should be, I was like totally off.
Yeah.
You know, like I'd have been like, there's no way I'm going to like want to move to Oxford, Mississippi, have my kid go to college here, have my other kid go to high school here and love it. And now I do. And who would have thought they would have ever wanted to come here? Like, it's like, you know, God's plan obviously makes a lot more sense than ours. Because every time I take that and I'm like, wait, maybe he wants it. Let me turn that over here.
Oh,
Go my way. This is what I want to happen. Like, these people need to do this. I need to go here. I need to get that job.
Let me control everything. That's all, yeah.
And then it just doesn't work. It really doesn't. And then which is hard, when I just let go and just let it go, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And that tide's going to come in, it's going to go out. I'll just float along with it.
The HOV lane, dude. What, who caught that clipboard? Do you know?
I don't know. They brought it back.
They did?
Yes. Mississippi Nice.
Oh, it's so sweet of them.
Told you, the people here are amazing.
God, that was great. There's nothing as good as SEC football.
Because it's like when the plays work, it's like a video game for me. I feel like I'm playing a video game
totally
on the sideline. So think like when you're playing a video game, you score a big touch and you throw your contrloller. That's really what I'm doing. It's still the kid in me right there.
Yeah.
You know, like throw my clipboard like your controller.
Out of the box. You've had quite a life, you know. You started kind of, you know, you didn't start, but you kind of came on a lot of people's radar in coaching at the highest level, right?
Yep.
Step back into college football. You've been a player. You've had like you kind of a polarizing, people would say, type figure, very unique in your own way. And I think after talking to you more, I learned a little bit more about how you operate so I can understand. But what is like a message you would get? You know, you've been through divorce, you've been through, you have children. You've had a lot of just experiences in your life. Yeah. What, for somebody out there who's getting into their middle age and is kind of struggling with having a setback or something, what is something you think you would share with them from your experience, or a thought or statement or? Yeah. I think that like they can do it. Like these things happen, you know, and like these major obstacles that seem so horrible at the time, a divorce, firings, maybe you have a health scare, like these things that seem so terrible and they're really not. They just feel like it in the moment and they're going to pass, and you're going to actually look back later on and be glad for them. Like my kind of major thing was I got fired as a head coach at USC and like my career is over. Well, if that wouldn't happen, I wouldn't have gotten to work for Nick Saban for 3 years. You know, so like whatever those things are, or your career's been over like 4 times. Yeah. That you can do it. And it's actually feels way better than, like, let's say you come out, like I came up and got a lot of breaks because my dad and stuff. And so it's like, okay, I got to the top. Okay, well, that felt good. But then to actually have it torn down and all taken away, some by circumstance, some by your own decisions, and rebuild from the bottom personally and professionally, it feels so much better. It's like instead of buying the house, you build the house from the beginning. And so just for people that are struggling in whatever one of those areas may be, like you can do it, but don't get overwhelmed. Like it really is one day at a time. Like, hey, just start working out today, you know, or stop drinking today, you know, or start being a better person today. Whatever those areas are. Yeah, just today. Just today, man. Because the other stuff's overwhelming. We don't know what's going to happen next week, let alone next month or next year. And just be really good at it today. Amen, man. I needed to hear that. Yeah, there's something I've been like, I just feel like kind of the world is in, because it's something that's kind of like just work stuff. And I'm like, what do I do? But I just have to look at it as a challenge, adjust the perspective. Zoom out. Yeah. Zoom out. See, so watching my dad pass and the last couple years of dementia, but also watching him on what was important to him. He'd been a head coach. He'd been fired. He'd been through all these.
it didn't matter. Like whatever that is right now that you're struggling, you're going to look back toward it and like, what was I even like losing sleep for or having anxiety about that for?
Yeah.
It really ain't that big. If you zoom out to later on, you're going to look back and be like, man, that wasn't a big deal. I'm glad it happened.
Hotty toddy, man.
Hotty toddy.
Lane Kiffin, thanks so much, dude. I really appreciate it. I hope that you stay as entertaining as ever. And I'm glad that you're in the SEC, man. It's one of the greatest conferences to watch. And congratulations on what you guys have done here at Ole Miss, man. I want to thank my friend Scott Sackfield and Richie Hike, who helped me think up questions today to talk about as well, because they went to school here. And yeah, I'm looking forward to having a good show here tonight.
Yeah, excited for your show tonight. We'll be there, and our whole team's coming, actually.
Really?
Yeah, the whole team's coming.
Oh,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah, we told them in the team, we had a team meeting today and said, we're going tonight. We're like, we got you in free. So like, yes, because we don't have any money. We're like, wait, you make like $1 million. Like these guys know it. But they still just want something for free.
Hey,
yeah, we told them you're really funny and free. Someone to know who you are.
At the end, they're still college students. You just want something for free, you know?
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin, thanks so much.
All right, man.
Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like these leaves. I must be cornerstone. Oh, but when I reach that ground, I'll share this peace of mind I found. I can feel it in my bones, but it's gonna take.
Today's guest is a WWE Hall of Famer. He's a member of one of the greatest wrestling families of all time, the Von Erichs. You may have seen their family story told recently in The Iron Claw. He's an inspiration. He's a motivation. He's pretty funny. And I just feel honored to be able to spend time with him today. Today's guest is Kevin Von Erich.
I'm feeling good. I feel like I could doze off.
Okay. Oh, damn. Look.
If that's a good thing.
Yeah, so because you were always the barefoot guy. You were a barefoot guy, huh?
Yeah, it sure was. I always, I've got these really big toes, and once you stub your toe on the mat a few times, it gets bigger. And so at first I just took my boots off because it felt comfortable in the ring, just to move around better. I felt like I could fly, but with the boots, they fill with sweat. Your socks absorb the sweat and all. They get heavy. I had some knee surgeries too, but I'll tell you, I go barefoot all I can.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's good for you. It really is,
Yeah, well, I'm sure. I know you moved out to Kauai, was it, or Hawaii?
Yeah, Kauai. That's
the barefoot capital of America.
I'll bet it is. It's we all go barefoot out there. I say I'm always kind of crazy about that, but I just hate for my toes to touch each other. I was always like that. I hated shoes when I was a little kid, and I guess I got old enough to say no, and I just didn't wear them anymore.
Did you ever wear those toe separator things? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, those are great. I wear them in the river at home. To walk in the river, but you can walk by a vine and they'll catch your toe, it can trip you, It's a little hazard for those things.
Did you feel like a caveman kind of?
Yeah. The good kind of caveman. I felt like, you're going to drag around pound by the hair, but...
no domestic disputes or anything.
Yeah, because like you feel the ground, you feel the earth. It's just something about it. I didn't know there was anything to it, but my son Ross tells me that there's an energy in the earth that your feet can pick that up, and I think I've been digging that for a long time without even knowing it was a thing, But I caveman it all the time out at Kauai. That's the way to live.
Yeah, I bet it's called, right here it says it's grounding. Grounding, also known as earthing, is a wellness practice that involves direct contact with the earth's surface, like walking barefoot on grass or sand to potentially connect with the earth's natural electric charge. I think it makes sense because even if you look at a tree or a plant, you don't see them wearing shoes or nothing. Like that would be crazy. If you saw a plant like wearing shoes, you'd be like, oh, that plant's out of his mind. Like plants, what I'm saying, they're connected to the earth. So I think that makes good sense.
I see what you mean, yeah.
Probably kept you pretty locked in. Your family you live on your family's ranch, right? Or you live on a ranch here?
We bought a ranch. We sold it. I lived on my family ranch in Texas. We sold it about 20 years ago and moved out to Kauai and built a big place, but I wanted to give my wife that kind of house, so everything was in the house was something that I really liked about room service or some hotel overseas. I had a bathtub. You could do a cannonball in it, splash it all over the wall. And it had a drain. It was just, every room had something like that. But it's real expensive in Kauai. And I have a lot of kids, and so they all go off to their house and no one wanted to live in the big house. And so we happened to trade that to a guy that just happened to have 27 acres, a waterfall on the land, a big, nice spring, and 5 houses, for my sons. And so we traded that house for that 27 acres, and that's where we are.
No way, just an even trade.
Even trade, yeah.
Dang, you don't see a lot of that anymore.
No. I was glad the guy, I couldn't believe he did it, really.
Did you have one of those open back verandas or something it's called maybe in Hawaii? What's that back patio? You know what I'm talking about? Those porches and it's just so perfect.
Yeah, they call it lanai.
Oh, God.
Yeah, man. At my daughter's house there, when we stay with her, she's got a bed set up for me out there. And so I sleep in the wind. It's great.
Yeah, dude. You're like that Legend of Zelda character. What's that little guy's name? Yeah, you're like Link from Zelda. That guy's always in the wind, man. That guy's a real nature dog.
Zelda?
It's a game. It's a character from a video game. So the ranch you have now, all your family can all live there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is, man. I'm telling you, Theo, it's so important to me. I had a lot of brothers, and man, I loved them so much. We're really close, super close.
For sure. Well, I mean, I only knew so much, but, I just saw you guys in the ring and stuff like that. And, there's been a lot of documentaries and smaller documentaries. There's been the Claw movie. So there's been a lot of, references to you guys for sure.
Yeah.
Your father was from Texas, and he was a wrestler. So I'm assuming that's where you guys all kind of got into it.
Yeah.
Just even knew about it.
Yeah. This is, it's kind of an ugly turn. I don't want to bum me out, but my dad was living up in New York, and we were all living up there, and I was a baby, but my brother Jackie was like 6 years old, and he would touch a house trailer that had a short in it, and it killed him. It electrocuted him, knocked him out, and he hit a puddle of water was frozen. He drowned under the ice, and broke my dad's heart. My mother, it just killed them. I can't imagine. I have sons, that I tell you, Theo, I lost my brothers and that was hard, but I could not lose a son.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't get up. I couldn't stand on my hind legs,
Did they have to go to therapy and stuff like that when that first happened because I guess that was your oldest brother.
Yeah.
Did they have therapy back then and stuff like that? Or what did you?
No, there was no, my dad was like a rock though, I couldn't believe he didn't want my mother to suffer, so we wouldn't suffer around her, but I'm sure my mother suffered so much. And also, when she got married, her little brother, David, died of a brain hemorrhage thing, what do you call it, a brain tumor. And so just like a year later, her son dies too. So it was just bang, bang,
I mean, and at those times too, I think there was more probably tragedy at those times. Things were, you'd have a lot of people had a lot of children, and a lot of them working farming, and people would get injured a lot. There was just, I think it was a different time probably when it came to safety and stuff. And they'd have loose wires. I mean, just things were just less regulated.
That's right. It was. The kind of stuff we did as kids, like, shoot, I can tell you a lot of times we're lucky to be alive.
Oh God, I've been lit up a couple of times. Damn, I was walking by a damn crab restaurant and stepped on an outlet.
You did?
Just took me down, brother. Yeah.
You stepped on an outlet with
something. I don't know. Next thing you know, I just thought the earth was just sucking me into it. Just
how long were you out?
I don't know. Probably 40 seconds, maybe.
Wow, man.
Not long enough to give up, I guess.
You didn't have like a experience beyond the door or anything like that.
I didn't get anything. I'm like, God's not giving me any previews or nothing,
That might be a bad sign, brother.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, if you start seeing the light, I'm like, nah. So your family had that. Yeah. So your parents had to deal with that so early, man. Yeah, I guess people suffered in silence more back then, huh?
Yeah, people were tough,
They were.
Well, I was just going to say, you know, that you brought up the movie, and I mean, the movie was like, I heard a lot of people talk about it. It was like,
The Iron Claw movie?
yeah, that my dad was really hard on us, when the fact was, you know, that we were hard on each other. You know, we answered each other. It was like a brother thing, really. And you know, to tell the truth, the suicides and all, that was not because Fritz made us wrestle or Fritz was a big monster or anything like that. That was shame. My brothers were ashamed with it. With Carrie was, you know, when you're in the public eye, you really feel a lot of pressure. You really do. You know, you don't want to let those kids down. And when something happens, you know, you do feel like you really let them down. And you know, I don't know, everybody's not like this. Sometimes you just can't forgive yourself. And Carrie just couldn't let it go.
And yeah, Carrie was one of your brothers. I know you had David, Carrie, Jack, Chris.
And Mike.
God, that's all the boy names they had at the time.
Yeah.
Y'all couldn't have had another brother because what were you going to do?
It'd have to be a girl.
It would have had to have been a girl by default, man.
Oh, we wanted a girl so bad.
Did y'all? Did your parents?
My whole life, I never knew anything about girls, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
y'all had enough beautiful hair in that family. At least you got an idea of how to
go
use it.
figure that one. Golly, I know. What's with that? I never took care of myself. I never expected to live past 50, you know?
Oh, I bet.
I was having fun my whole life, you know?
Oh, I bet. But y'all had so much dang hair. Y'all were very, y'all would have been considered beautiful, tall trans women these days. Y'all would have been, because you guys were ahead of your time. Even like all the rock bands in back then remember Poison, all those bands, they had the big hair.
That's the truth.
Did you guys have
hairdos?
Y'all had some hairdos. Was that something like a pride? Was that almost like a lion's mane type of thing amongst the guys in your household? Or what was that like for you guys? Because you guys had some great hair.
No, you know what? It was just laziness, to tell the truth. I mean, you know, I cut it to keep it out of my eyes, you know, but then I cut my own hair, you know, because I don't pay that kind of money.
I can tell, dude. I cut my own shit.
Yeah, well, I can't see the back, you know. I don't have a mullet on purpose, you know. But I can cut this up here, you know.
So your dad, I do want to know a little bit more about him. So you said that the film kind of portrayed him as being more of a stickler. But what was he like? Was he a businessman? Was he quiet? I mean, I guess he wasn't quiet because I could see like his wrestling persona, but was his home persona like, well, I guess what was he like as a father and what was he like as a businessman?
But let me tell you, my dad was like a mountain of a man. He was really full of love, God, but I mean, he was serious. And when he wouldn't say anything. And like, you know, before you go to sleep at night, you think, oh man, I wish I'd have said that. Wish I'd have thought of that. Well, he thought of it right then. And he would say it right then. And,
at night, you mean?
No, I mean like whenever the subject came up. Yeah, whenever he thought of it, it was just right there. I thought, man, perfect answer. You know, but I mean, he was the president. Okay, you know that movie, The Iron Claw, where Fritz says, the NWA always wanted to screw me, you know, kind of like, but the truth is he was the NWA. He was the president of it, you know, and he was the other wrestlers, I mean, world champions. I mean, when my dad came in the room, I mean, they were like rolling on their backs like dogs. You know?
They respected him?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Or they feared him, like, because his business acumen or just?
I think it was his business acumen. I really do. And the way he stated himself, he didn't ever pop off. He didn't ever brag. He always had the accurate thing to say, that not too much emotion at all, just business. And people respected that. I think in the wrestling business, we have a lot of personalities, you know, the big egos, and sometimes these guys don't want to do something, you know. And but my dad had the respect, and it made a great business. It just, I think you have to have that in you. Myself, man, you can talk me out of anything, you know. Oh, is that all the money you have? Well, I'll take less. You know, I know why I'm like that. We're not like my dad at all. He was great.
He was a business guy.
He was, yeah.
And what was he like with your mom? Like, do you have a nice memory of them being together? Like like a moment that you remember that was, that meant something to you?
Yeah, I guess so. One time I was in the den and my mom and dad were kind of whispering and they disappeared and my brothers were really young. And so they went into the little study there, I guess, to talk. And I thought they've been in there a long time. And so I took the little coat hanger and straightened it out, and pushed it in the door and opened it up. They were at it. And I was like, oh, man. The way I said, so as a little boy, I thought, why are they so mad?
Yeah.
What are they so mad about? It sounded like they were having fun.
It sounded like 2 out of 3 falls, huh?
Well, I just felt like I needed to go in there, and break this up, whatever it is, and it was, that was kind of one of those moments, I guess.
Break this up. You bring a whistle in there? That's hilarious.
Right. She needs there.
That's really something you remember, though?
Yeah, I do remember that, trying to think of that beautiful moment. That's what came up,
So everybody was wrestling, huh?
I guess so. Yeah.
Wow. Did you feel like you had to be a wrestler in your family? Like, was it?
Well, the truth of it is, my dad didn't want us to wrestle, In fact, he was his finger was stuck, and his hands didn't move right. And,
oh, yeah, he probably walked around like a damn crossing guard.
Oh, God, he was. In his lower back and knees. And so, I actually said to my sons, you don't want to do this, I promise. Here we are in Hawaii, and I can't even run on the beach. And I was a high hurdler, I used to high jump over my head, and I love to move. But a day comes, where you traded that away, So I told my boys, you don't want this, you really don't. And but you can't tell them that, they were just like I was. I wanted to do what my dad did. I thought he was great. And so did my brothers, We thought everything he did was great, we thought. And that's why I wanted to do like that. I'm sure my sons are thinking the same stuff,
Well, I think there's something inside of a son. You just want to make your dad proud. You want him to look at you and just feel a sense of pride.
That goes deep. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably the deepest thing that there is.
Me too.
I don't think there's anything less. I mean, you ask anybody, do you feel like your dad's proud of you? It's like that, it really takes them to a place when they're thinking about that or answering that,
Yeah.
Was people using steroids and stuff back then? I used to use steroids in high school. Was it a thing when you guys were growing up or no?
Yeah, it was. It sure was. They, it was, I didn't really ever want to really get into that, and because we had naturally good bodies, but my brother Kerry was a bodybuilder. He'd peel the skin off the chicken and eat the rice with no soy sauce on it. And I'd never do that, man. I mean, I ate Twinkies, chocolate milk, 5 or 6 glasses a day, really. Yeah. I love chocolate milk, sugar. My favorite food is sugar.
Oh, I'll eat damn 2 grams of sugar, dude.
Me too, man. I mean, if it tastes good, then my body must want it.
Yeah, because when I was growing up, he's so fit, huh?
Yeah.
He was probably the most romantically fit of you guys, huh?
He was, man. You should see him as a little kid. He was girls all loved him. The teachers loved him.
Damn, straight men loved him.
He was.
I mean, you got to look. If you can go further enough past women where you get straight men to love you, you could have straight. I mean, this is, in rural areas, you could have men that were like, no gays, but then they'll go and watch it and then just adorn this gentleman.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the times kind of, but yeah, Barry, he was super fit. Did,
I see that picture. I remember he was a little boy. He was so cute, but we said we went in the barn one day. There's a big old wasp nest up there, a red wasp. How they stuck the ceiling up there, and so they're in the barn. We're all alone, and so we those things that you should gift wraps, the long tubes they come in the Christmas present. Yeah. So we lit one up and said, Kerry, hold it under those red ants, but remember to hold your breath because they can't sting you if you're holding your breath, And so don't breathe. And so we light it up and we're watching him go in there, and they drop all on him and he runs out crying. We said, stupid, we told you not to breathe. And he said, it's hard to hold your breath when you're crying.
Dude, that is it is hard to hold your breath when you're crying. Dude.
Yeah, he was right.
My favorite, when we were kids, we used to pick on each other at dinner so bad. And the best part was to get somebody to cry when they had a mouthful of food, right? Because they couldn't swallow because they were crying so hard. So the food just it'd be like, it just got stuck in the mouth, That shit was so funny, dude. Having siblings was so much fun, huh? Did you guys do like Halloween and stuff together? Did y'all do that?
Yeah. You mean go out and throw eggs at people and stuff? And
Yeah.
We did all that. Yeah.
And what was like birthday parties and stuff like at your house? Because with so many kids, would you guys combine some of them, or everybody got their
we
own?
had a lot of boys, a lot of us in our house, and I remember like ladies saying, "Oh, it smells like boy in here," and because they smell like boys, I guess. But I do remember that it was really hard for Mama to get babysitters because like we were really hard on them, just playing with them and stuff. We'd kind of make a joke out of it, and they'd be crying, and they're never going to watch these kids again. I was climbing the walls and stuff like that.
Oh, you need Abdullah the Butcher to be your babysitter, I feel like.
Probably so.
You need somebody big. At that time in wrestling, were steroids like a popular thing? Like I remember when I was in high school, people would use like Test 200. But even growing up like in Texas, did people even know that steroids were bad for you, or was it just like a medicine that was like kind of common in wrestling? Do you feel like?
Well, doctors would give it to you. I had trouble gaining weight when I was like, my whole life I've had trouble gaining weight. But, and so I took Dianabol when I was in high school, but I took one a day for like 2 weeks and then lay off for 2 weeks and then take it again for 2 weeks and lay off for 2 weeks. And that was think of a little boy pill. That's what that was for little boys that weren't getting puberty. And then back then, like you say, there weren't all these rules and all. Steroids weren't necessarily a dirty word, but doctors did give them to people like after surgery and things like that to improve their appetite and things.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference. But if you don't lift weights, if you don't really have a strict regimen, then it's just going to give you pimples on your back and make your hair fall out and your breath stink and all that stuff,
Yeah, if you're just shooting steroids and then just watching, I Dream of Jeannie or shit like that, your life's gonna fall apart.
Yeah, like those guys that get the injections to make their muscles look big. Can you believe? Have you seen some of these guys they don't even work out. They go in, they get silicone injections for muscles. I got to tell you, Theo, muscles are nothing. It's all you want to know. In wrestling. I would lift weights because I wanted to be a better wrestler. I want my kick out. I want to push my man off. I want to be able to bench, a lot because it's important. But it's to look pretty in the mirror. That's just a few shades short of fruity, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, look at this.
That's
guy.
the stuff. That's what I'm talking about.
What in the hell is that?
No,
the guy looks like he's stealing from Target.
Really?
What is that guy doing? What is that guy doing?
Yeah,
That guy looks like a little. And I'm gonna take that joke out. That's offensive. I just wanted to make you guys laugh. We used to use them. I'm trying to think. We used them. Yeah, we got in and we were weightlifting pretty heavy, and it was fun using them because it definitely made things easier. That was fun, and you felt way more invigorated. For sure.
What kind did you do?
We were doing like Test 200, and then some people would do Dianabol. I never got that. We just would go on spring break and get Test 200, or some people worked on farms and we get Test 200 from them. Testosterone or something.
Yeah, well, some of that stuff, I have to say that some of that stuff the guys use, you could see veterinary use only on the box, equine this and all that.
Oh, some of it you'd open up and it'd be like,
yeah.
Even when you took the top off, you're like, shit, that ain't for us.
That's what it was. It really, I was never into that because you really can kill yourself with it. It's like it messes your whole body up, and
Was it popular in the sport when you got into it? I'm just trying to wonder what the times were like and how men felt like they had to.
Theo, man.
Well, and you guys were, because your family was in good shape overall, but some of the shapes in wrestling weren't. It wasn't as much about the shape. There was a lot of guys out there that were just big tough guys.
Well, we wanted to put the best show on television we could do. And if that meant take steroids too, we didn't care. I mean, priority one was our body.
Yeah.
I mean, was was delivering that punishment. You know, we move quick and explode. You've seen our wrestling, it was different.
Kerry was it's unbelievable watching him.
Well, that's the thing we wanted to, and that was the attitude back then. If the guys we're wrestling are going to do steroids, well, then it's only fair that we do them too. Now, we didn't, don't get me wrong, it's like, it's not like we were really into it. Kerry went down to the University of Houston and was throwing the discus for Coach Tellez down there at U of H. And the stuff he learned down there was all this like expert stuff about weightlifting and weight events and all. You know, they would take a cigarette and puff a cigarette right before they'd throw. And it's something in the nicotine would kick the muscles in, you know, kick your body just a little. It would give them just a little edge, just a little more. Or they drink ice cold water before you have a go max on your bench. It helps just a little bit.
You hear that, Coach Hester? Kurt Hester, he's a speed and strength coach of mine. I think he coaches at the University of Houston now. But I'm going to have to make sure he hears that. I'm realizing that anywhere worth going is worth going in good boots. Find your perfect pair with Tecovas. That's what I'm wearing. I like these wide toe they got on them, baby. You know, I like the wide toe, but sometimes I'll wear that little pointy toe, that little bird foot, you know, if I'm doing something. If I'm trying to just, you know, dance with a woman or impress a parakeet, baby. Being confident isn't about being different. It's about being yourself. Every one of Tecovas boots are handcrafted with over 200 meticulous steps for broken-in comfort right out of the box. Yeah, I started wearing my Tecovas just during the evening time, but now they're just growing more and more on me. It's just like, gosh, my feet are just better now. Now, I won't wear them when I sleep. I ain't no pervert, you feel me? Right now, get 10% off at tecovas.com/THEO when you sign up for email and text. That's 10% off at TECOVAS.com/Theo. Tecovas.com/Theo. See site for details. Tecovas. Point your toes west. You know, so many of us have dreams, things we think about, and we're like, oh, I could make this, or I could create this, and then I could offer it to people, offer a product or an experience or a modality to help others. Well, Shopify is the thing that connects your dream to your audience. I'll say that straight up, and that's the truth. You know, when we started out, we had a website and an interface, and then we had a store, and at a certain point, we needed help. We needed a site and a store that could fluctuate, and Shopify offers just that. You might say, well, what if I can't design a website? Shopify's got you from the get-go with beautiful, ready-to-go templates to match your brand's style. What if I need a hand? Get help with everyday tasks like enhancing product images, writing product descriptions, or generating discount codes with Shopify's AI tools created for commerce. Turn those dreams into and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/Theo. That's shopify.com/THEO. Shopify.com/Theo. So when you guys were, because didn't Kerry almost throw the disc? Didn't he almost go to the Olympics?
Yeah.
But the Olympics got canceled that year because what year was it? Didn't Johnson cancel the Olympics?
80. It was the 80. No, wait. 1980. That's what it was.
The president canceled the Olympics, right? We didn't go?
No, it was that thing. I believe there was a airliner flying over Korea, and a Russian shot it down. It was over a sensitive area, and I believe it was Jimmy Carter at the time.
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
And we didn't do the Olympics that year.
Yeah.
But he would have competed. Kerry would have competed?
Well, you know, I think he would have, but I'm not really sure because they would have had to have the. I think he went to Champaign for those
Nationals?
pre-games, nationals. But I don't think he went to the other. They even took it that far. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it went. But
which one of you guys was kind of the leader of you guys as brothers?
Well,
and I know sometimes it goes by age, right? Because there's always
I was the big brother, you know, and no doubt about that. But my brother Dave had a real responsibility streak. He would my dad would come to him and say, okay, I want this fence I want it to go down there 200 yards, and I want a good post, or I want it double fenced, and I want everything just right. And he'd tell Dave. And so Dave would tell me and Kerry what to do.
He's the foreman.
Yeah, he's the foreman. Yeah. And so it kind of worked that way in wrestling too. And he was good on the microphone too.
That's
important. You got to be good on the mic.
Was there a time where all of you guys were wrestling at the same time?
Yeah, just briefly. It was, man, that was so much fun too, because we never got to go to Japan together. Dave and I went to Japan together, and Kerry and I went to Japan, never together though. But when we could all three to be together, just when we first started out, you know, for that first year, all three of us could go to towns. We had so much fun, man. We always would stop. We'd scuba dive all the way there. You know, if there's clear water, if it's just a river or something, we'd dive in and swim. It was just...
along the way?
We had fun all day. And we wouldn't even go to the dressing room. We'd get dressed out in the woods where the swimming hole was, and we'd get our wrestling stuff on, go right to the show, get in the ring, come back out and do our stuff, you know. We had it down. We had fun.
And you got a leech in your tights, brother, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, don't call it that, you know? Did you all train together at home at a certain place? Like, what was that kind of...
Yeah, we had a gym outside the house and on an adjacent property, and I'm probably the cause of all the pressure, because I would put up Vince Lombardi posters all the time for myself. You know, I wanted to be the best I could be, and that was what it was like to live in my home back then. It was like we lifted weights 3 times a week, but we ran, we swam. Everything was about getting better, because I wanted to play in the NFL. And Kerry just wanted to wrestle, but and Dave wanted to wrestle, but I was a football player, and so that's what it was all about. It's just do your best. The quitters never quit. Winners never quit. Quitters never win. You know, that kind of stuff. I had posters everywhere on the gym, and we'd spot each other and push each other and call each other sissies if we couldn't do it. You know, and I mean, we would spit on each other. You know, we were savages, and we wanted to get good as we could be. And when we wrestled, it was hard. You know, we were rough, because anything worth doing is worth doing right. You know, we wanted to be like successful as my dad was, but it would meant just go all out. You know, completely commit. And that means every day. On Wednesdays, we run 400 meter, one lap around the tracks, 400 meter. Mm-hmm. We'd run 5 400s on Wednesdays. We'd time them. And Kerry and I were both high jumpers. Kerry high jumped too. And we could bench. Kerry and I figured as long as we could bench twice our weight and high jump over our heads, then we'll always be in shape. Mm. And for knee surgeries and all, you can't do that again, but that was the theory we wanted to go with. And Dave was the same. Dave didn't work out in the gym as hard as we did, you know, but Kerry and I did. Everything we did was to exhaustion. And when you're kind of nauseated, when you think you're about to throw up, now you've done enough.
Dang.
We really did, man. It was all the way.
I quit way before that, I realized.
Yeah. Well, everybody does, man. If you want to look different, you have to do what everybody else doesn't do, you know, and I mean, fight through that.
And were all of your brothers kind of subscribe to that same mentality, or did some of them come along just because with that mentality, just because they were your brothers?
No.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah. I guess, nobody was just along for the ride. Yeah. I think they were all pretty much just wanted to be like, me, Dave, and Kerry wanted to be like Dad, but, you know, things got kind of different when we were kids. When I was in junior in high school, sophomore in high school, my mom and dad were going to get a divorce, you know, and my dad was going to move out. So my freshman year is what it was. And I came into the kitchen one day, my mom and dad are talking, and Dad said, Kev, I'm going to move to Dallas and just get an apartment. And y'all are going to stay here, and it's going to be just great. Y'all will go to school and come see me on the weekends. And I said, are y'all talking about a divorce? And he said, Yeah, son, we were.
He's trying to describe it to you without saying
Yeah, I said, well, I want to go with you, Dad. And Dave heard me, and Carrie came in and said, we do too, Dad. We want to go with you. And so my mom's going to be there alone, it looks like, and I guess but I was the mediator with that, and they kind of worked it out. But with the deaths, then my mother was kind of damaged inside. It made her like, she was suffering so much. She, with Dave, she was tough. I mean, like her own little brother and Jackie, but then with Dave, she toughed it out, But then baby Mike, he was the baby of our family, Chris was even younger, but Mike was we'd been traveling around and we weren't home that much. So when Mike was the baby,
Traveling with wrestling? You guys had been traveling with wrestling?
Yeah. See, the movie doesn't have the suit, but Dave and Carrie were both married, and Dave had a daughter, died a crib death, but Carrie had 2 daughters, and Holly and Lacey, and beautiful, sweet daughters. They spend every Christmas with us, and we told you I got the big house for all to have our Christmases, and because family is just like we were saying. There's nothing more important than family to me, for any thinking man. And then again, there's the being wrestlers and our brothers. I mean, my dad's a bad guy, and they're booing him. It kind of makes you feel like it's us against the world, These people are booing my dad. If they hate him, then we hate them too,
Right.
And
what was that about? So because at what point did the audience turned on your father? Or just part of the...
No, he was like the perfect bad guy.
Yeah.
He was a Nazi, and after my brother Jackie died, and they're up in New York, he was like, his wrestling changed. He was different. He was wild inside, and I think it was like he wanted to just take it out on people, and it showed in the ring. Theo, when the wrestlers would come out of the dressing room, get in their cars, the fans would stand around and boo, from a distance. But when my dad came out, they'd get in his car, silence. They were like, fear. It was like fear. He might run over here,
Oh, it was such an exciting time back then when the wrestlers would come into the ring. I mean, there was just, God, I remember being a kid and we would lose our fucking minds and just beat the shit out of our sister. The second the fucking wrestling program came on, we would beat the shit out of our sister.
Oh, man.
For no fucking reason. Except
I guess she just couldn't get used to the schedule and know trying to stay away at that time of day or something.
Oh, if it was more than an hour broadcast, she knew she was in for it. I'll tell you that. You hear a lot of stories about how wrestling was like, we had to wrestle one night and then the next night you had to wrestle again. And did you go on road trips like that where it was like a few days at a time? Was it weeks and months? I mean, what was it really like back then?
Theo, in 1984, I wrestled 386 times.
God.
And that's, there are a lot of those were triple shots, double shots on Sundays. We'd wrestle TV shows or we'd do 2 or 3 times. But after started to be the deaths, then I would have to, my dad had it where Dave could sell out a building, Carrie could sell out a building, I could sell out, but Mike was not quite there, and so when Dave died, either Carrie or me had to fill his slot, work another town, and that was hard, but then Carrie with the foot, now I've got 2 slots to fill, and so I was wrestling 3 times a day, almost a couple of times a week, but I was wrestling every day.
Was it an option to take some of the slots off the schedule, or did you guys feel like as a family we have to fill this? Did you feel like your dad was like, we have to fill this, or it was just that's what you did?
Well, I got to tell you, we, after the deaths, we were down, and we sure didn't feel like getting back in that ring, but. You have to, because after death, there's all the publicity, and Dad's saying, it's been a week, it's been 2 weeks or whatever. But I mean, there were times when we said, Dad, I can't do it yet. Can't do it. But he did want us to get in that ring. But it was a family business. I don't hold it against him. I understand. But it was brutal to make yourself do that. I mean, what's on your mind is love and brotherhood and seeing him again in heaven, but you want to project, I'm going to kick that guy's ass. Yeah. It's kind of, you're torn,
A lot of life's like that, huh?
Yeah.
It's like having two feelings at the same time. It's like, especially with death, because it's like somebody's gone, but they're the one that's gone, but you're the one that hurts, and you don't even know what they're feeling like, and you almost don't want to like mourn too much, because then it's like, are you just using the mourning for yourself? Just like all that kind of stuff has always hit me.
I know. You wake up in the morning and there's nothing else. You can't think about anything else. Man, I'm old enough. I can tell you a little something now. I never wanted to endorse marijuana or put it over because, I had a position, but when I would wake up in the morning, I could not think of anything else. That's all I thought about. And if I smoked a joint, I could daydream. I could think of something else, and I was grateful for that stuff. It helped me.
Well, I'm sure, especially out in Kauai, it was probably.
Oh, shoot, yeah.
I was helping everybody.
Well, so I had my knee replaced, and it didn't go very well. It's kind of, I rehabbed it too quick. See, in college, when you have a knee surgery, you fight like hell to get it back, and well, I got out there and I got a knee replacement, but I'm a senior citizen. And so I shouldn't have rehabbed it like that. I was doing flips off the cliff with the boys and it knocked something. I smelled glue on my breath. I thought, oh, that can't be good. Because they use glue in there.
Really?
Yeah.
And you think some of it came up your bloodstream? You could taste it a little bit?
I tasted it. Yeah, I tasted
That's
it.
That's bad.
Anyway, so.
Damn, they're using damn glue?
Well.
God.
Yeah, they do. They use glue.
Well, shit, we could use glue.
I mean, they power tools. Really, working on you. They got a drill, the whole deal. They hide it from you.
Yeah. With that anesthesia, dude.
Oh, man.
They just bring in a couple of Cub Scouts in there, and they're doing damn woodwork on you in there.
Yeah. The plane
with. With wrestling, did you have to be as tough at the wrestling part as you did at the partying part? Like, there seemed to be this thing when I look back on like wrestling and a lot of the stories, especially coming up out of like the 70s, 80s, 90s, where not only did you have to prove yourself in the ring, that you were the toughest guy, that you were able to do the matches, but then you had to prove yourself again, like at the drinking table. Was that part of the culture as much as...
Oh man, that was the easy part for us because none of us really liked to taste the booze. I'll have a drink or even two, but I'm done. I can't drink 6 of anything, And a lot of people can, but I think that was a big thing for us. We never did get that big stomach. I guess that a lot of my friends, love that beer. All my teammates, my wrestling colleagues love beer, but I never did get into it, and I'm glad I didn't because it's taken its toll on a lot of good men.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, after those knee surgeries, I had to take 3 OxyContin a day.
God.
Shoot. One in the morning, one in noon, or one at 1 o'clock, and then one at sundown. Because they had time release in them, and it freaking worked great. It didn't make you goofy or anything, but I could ride a bike, and stuff, and it kind of hurt worse later, but with the pain pill, take another dang pill.
Oh, yeah, I feel like a damn Care Bear if I take one of them.
Shit. Well, then COVID came, and I went to get my medicine, because we never left our ranch except for to go to the doctor, we had everything there.
In Kauai?
Yeah, in Kauai, I grow 4 different types of avocado, and we trade them with our neighbors. We have turkey, we raise sheep, we have tilapia, a fish full of thousands of fish, and every kind of fruit you could think of, we had a reason to go. The boys are spearing fish and throwing the net and catching crabs, and so it was a great way to live, so we just didn't really leave. But COVID came, and so I go to get my medicine, and it's like twice as much. I was already paying $900 a month for it. It's $1,800, and I said, well, I'm quitting this stuff. And so I quit, but man, I got these flu symptoms, I felt like I was weird, and but I fought through it, but Ross got me this stuff called kratom. It's a leaf of my tree, and we grow the tree out there. You can crumble it up, or it comes, you put it in a powder, put it in a pill, and I was able to kick that OxyContin. And 10 days, I wouldn't even want another one.
By using kratom, you were able to kick it?
Kratom did that, yeah.
And then were you able to get off the Kratom?
That was easy to quit Kratom. I never liked that stuff. It smells like hay anyway, but it was easy to get off of it. But so, I decided, I told you when we came on, I wanted my life to kind of help someone, all that suffering, you want to get something good.
Yeah.
And if anyone is suffering from any kind of addiction like that, opioids and all, bear that in mind. There are Kratom places all around. I'm not saying I'm not getting any money for it. I'm just saying it sure helped me. And if you're an addict and it was bothering you, I couldn't believe I was addicted to this stuff. I wanted to quit and I got sick. I thought, shit, never gonna let something happen like this to me again.
How bad did feeling like you had to take OxyContins get?
Well, I never kind of let it get to that point. You're supposed to take it at 1 o'clock. You're supposed to take it in the morning and at night before you go to bed. And so that's what it always did.
Yeah.
And you don't walk around high. You just don't hurt, because it's got the pain relief, the time release in it,
But that Kratom was helpful, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Sure was.
Yeah, I have a friend who got addicted to Kratom. So I think there can be a slope there, but I certainly could see how it could be used to help people get off of OxyContin.
Yeah, it's illegal in some countries.
Kratom is?
Kratom is. It must be illegal, addictive, yeah.
Was addiction ever part of any of your brother's issues or no? Did addiction run in you guys' family? It runs in my family.
Well, I don't think it does. My brother Kerry, was... he went to the Betty Ford Clinic and all these places, but he was never addicted to anything. He just liked all of it. He'd do cocaine one day, he'd do pain pills the next day, he'd do acid. Mushrooms. It was something different all the time with our Kerry. And I'm not saying I'm so good.
No, but it sounds like he was addicted.
He was addicted to the feeling.
To the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying.
Just getting out of his skin,
Oh, yeah. God, that's a steel cage match I don't want to be in, my own skin.
Yeah, I know, man. But, that's life. You got to fight through that crap, man. You just fight through it.
Well, yeah, because to me, it sounds like he could have had addiction problems. Like if they had looked at it by today's standards. I think things were definitely looked at differently then.
Yeah. Might as well, because if you can't stop, then what do you call it,
Yeah.
Because I know he wanted to stop because he had those beautiful daughters. He loved them so much, And
Holly and what was the other one?
Holly and Lacey.
Lacey
lives out in L.A. and Holly is out there in East Texas now. And hopefully they'll be with me soon because, I've been going back to Hawaii every month, but I haven't been back in a couple of months now. And man, it is hurting me because Benji, my little treasure's out there. Jill has 4. She has 2, a boy and 3 daughters.
And who's Benji?
Benji is the 6-year-old. And we're like this. We go everything together.
Oh, that's a grandchild?
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
No, I've got a lot of grandchildren.
Oh, you do?
My son Marshall has given me 2.
Okay. Well, he can get more out of them.
Yeah. I sure can.
Fire him up. Huh?
And then Kristen has given me plenty. But that boy and I, being 5, 4, 3, that age, he was just with me all the time.
Oh, it's fun.
And now Marshall has given me a grandson, and he's just about to turn 5. And we're like that. It's either monster trucks or we're turning over rocks. We're just throwing rocks and catching snakes and bugs and lizards and all. And it's just fun all the time, but it's like...
Yeah, I could see that for sure. You remind me also, if you were my grandfather or something, that would be awesome. And you remind me of Tommy Lee, actually, about does anybody ever tell you that?
Who's Tommy Lee?
Tommy Lee from Motley Crue.
Oh, that band came to the Sportatorium. They're a bunch of nice guys. I know those guys.
Of course you do, dude.
Yeah.
That's you, dude. That's why you know him. But Tommy's a great guy. Tommy's great. You guys just the way you guys talk and stuff. Does that make any sense to you, Nick? Tommy's the greatest dude, man. He's nice. Just the way you guys sound and stuff like that. He's a super guy. Yeah, they're good, man. Did you ever fight somebody high? Could people fight high in the ring? Did people ever fight high in the ring?
I don't think so. Not on purpose.
Right.
But I can remember though. Oh, golly. Yeah. Oh, we did before. There was this stuff called GHB, And it's this super drug, but they sold it in like athletic stores, you know, and sporting goods stores because it was like a fat burner. And so we're going to this town, and Kerry's going there. He told us not to take too much of it, but by the time we say you'll probably go to sleep in the car, by the time we get there, you know, your body's going to be burning your fat off, you know. So we took that crap, and golly, shoot. I don't know how we got through that night. It was terrible.
Oh, y'all were just zombies?
Yeah, we were. We like we're just sitting there and dozing off. Right at match time, and it'd be just one of the brothers trying to wake you up, you know, shut up, you know, and it was terrible. That stuff was something.
Yeah, I could just imagine what that's like at that time. You're almost like anything to kind of get an edge. Everybody's testing out the cool stuff, or I know where the new thing is. I guess that's always been a part of that bodybuilding world too, I think, you know? When you're big into bodybuilding, a lot of those things kind of come along. Like, you know, there's different creatines, there's different uppers, there's like these testosterone revigorators or whatever. And it's just a picture of like sometimes it comes in like a huge set of balls, the powder or whatever. Like, what the hell is this? But yeah, there's all types of that bodybuilding's always been on the edge of like using
competitive. Yeah.
Using and finding an advantage.
Yeah, you know, that's when two guys are going to looking at the mirror with each other, and I got better things to do. You know?
yeah, at a certain point, I think so. It's interesting that you refer to other wrestlers as like a team, or you refer to as your team or something. Is that how you guys thought of y'all's wrestling organization, as a team?
Yeah, it was a family business, and it was like a team. It was like, if you know, we were jealous of each other. You know, as to the real truth to it is, you know, when my dad and when Kerry and me flipped the coin for the world title, well, the truth to it was that I'd had a family, and I'm married, and I have children. You know, and Kerry wanted to be the world champion, but to be the world champion, it's a special kind of wrestler to do that, and not a Kerry. You need somebody that makes the other guy look good. That's really what it's all about, you know. And Dave could have done that, and I think Kerry may. I couldn't have done it though. I've been a babyface my whole life, you know. I kiss the babies, and I, you know, do all that stuff. But the real difficult work in wrestling, the hard stuff, is to be a heel. That's the creative stuff, you know.
And for our listeners that don't know what a heel is.
Well, a heel's the heavy, the bad guy, you know, the Bruiser Brodies and the Kamalas and the King Kong Bundys, you know.
Why is that the tougher spot to be?
Well, because you're limited. For a good guy, what you can do, you know, but a bad guy, he can do anything, and he'd better do it too, because it's all about, you know, it's like you're slaying a dragon, you know. There's the guy, the knight in shining armor, and there's the big ugly dragon. You know, when I first went out to Atlanta on WTBS out there, I was 19 years old, and you know, handsome kid, you know, and the hero. And here comes the big monster to wrestle me. It's this Terry Gordy.
Yeah.
Big
Bam
monster.
Bam was his name? No.
Yeah. And I found out, talking to him, he was 16.
Oh, my.
He was a teenager all that time.
What the hell?
He is
Y'all are being damn sex trafficked, you know? That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. You're both scared of each other. You both haven't even finished schoolwork.
Well, that's it. You know, you want each.
Bring that picture of him up. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Kevin. Bring that picture of him up. Look at that fella, dude.
Yeah.
That's wild, huh?
Yeah, he was something else. You would have loved him.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Michael Hayes he's a character, Buddy Calvert, but that guy was 100% gold inside.
Oh.
He would fight to the death, but he had a heart for little kids and for girls, and he was just nice. He was such a good guy, man. But he was a battleship too.
What did he pass away?
Yeah.
What happened to him?
Oh shoot. He was he overdid it on the plane. He OD'd on a plane, and they had to restart him. Shoot. And then something, I believe that his blood was stayed away from his brain too long, and it starved his brain. I mean, he had some damage when he came out of that then I talked to him, and he just, Kev, I hurt myself, brother. I said, no, Terry, you're fine. He goes, no, I'm not fine, Kev. So he could talk to me, but he was real slow. He didn't have any of this hand-eye kind of coordination.
So it cost him something, huh? Dang.
But then I'd always heard that he fell off the jetway getting on a plane one time too. I think he did. He fell off the jetway drunk, landed on his head, and got back up and got on the plane, made the show.
Yeah.
But so I thought that was why he was like that. But he said, no, something else. You know, it was, yeah.
So many guys went through so much, man. Terry Funk, he's still alive, I believe, isn't he?
Man, I hope so, but I hadn't heard the bad news if he had.
Oh, no, he says he passed away in August.
I love that guy, and Dory too, so I hope that
Terry Funk he was incredible to watch, wasn't he?
He sure was. He taught me so much too. My brother Dave and I, we're 19, 18 years old, and we're the bad guys in Amarillo wrestling Dory and Terry, who are the great good guys. You know, they loved them.
And Dory Funk as well?
And Dory, they're brothers.
Yep.
And their dad was Dory Funk Sr.
Okay.
Super badass. Well, these two were in the ring, and Dave and I, we're just learning, we're just learning about this. Dave, pretty good heel, but I didn't know what to do really. And so we're in the ring, and Dory's telling us everything. He goes, spit on me, kid. I said, sir? He said, spit on me. So I spit on him. And so Dave unloads on Terry too. And the crowd went wild. They hated our guts. So they beat us, and I get on the mic and I say, you're in trouble now. I'm going to get my daddy. And so then, they booed me good, And so I love being a heel, but I just wasn't good at like Dave was, Irvin Carey.
So that was the real, so that was something that was tough to be a heel.
Yeah, it's a lot harder. You have to have some creativity about it,
Yeah.
And then you've got to have a personality that you're projecting. It's got to come from in here,
Right. And you can't get upset if people don't like you because you're almost the guy that people don't like.
Well, Dave and I come back from the ring in Florida one time, and and Dave's a bad guy, and so I'm a heel too. And so this guy steps up. You remember people would dip skull and they'd spit in those cups. So he sloshed that stuff on us, and I thought, well, we've been begging him to hate our guts. Finally, we're there. And I look, and Dave's running up in the bleachers after the guy. Kicked his ass up in the stands and all. But so I said, Dave, we worked our butts off to make him hate us. He goes, Dave was just, you couldn't talk to him. He was so mad,
Here's a dirty little secret the insurance company would rather keep under wraps. Insurance companies profit by holding on to money for as long as possible. So after the accident, they'll do whatever they can to delay or deny your claim. This way, they can keep those profits growing. Morgan & Morgan fights hard for their clients, and these corporate bullies know that. A recent client in Pennsylvania just received $29 million. Insurer's best offer was $500,000. Another recent client in Florida received $20 million. Last offer was $0. There's a reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury firm. Hiring the wrong firm can be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. With Morgan & Morgan, it's easy to get started, and their fee is free unless they win. Just visit forthepeople.com/THEO or dial pound law, pound 529. That's for the people, FORTHEPOPLE.com/Theo or dial pound law, pound 529. This is a paid advertisement. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Therapy can feel like a big investment. You're like, well, do I have, can I spare that? How do I fit it into my budget? But I do think taking care of yourself and putting yourself in the best space mentally and emotionally, just the effect and payoff and residual effect of that in your life is pretty magical. With BetterHelp, you pay a flat fee for weekly sessions, saving you big on costs and time. Traditional in-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session, which adds up fast. But with BetterHelp Online Therapy, you can save on average up to 50% per session. Your mental health is worth it, and now it's within reach. It's convenient, too. You can join a session with the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life, plus switch therapists at any time. Your well-being is worth it. Visit BetterHelp.com/Theo to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/Theo. Kerry, do you think he was the most athletic?
Yeah, Kerry was a really good athlete.
He was?
He was just everything it just came easy to him. In fact, when I watched him play his senior year in high school, it looked like
Play football?
It looked like Terry Gordy playing against a bunch of Pee-wee guys. Yeah. You know, he was that big. And I sound like I'm exaggerating, but he carried the ball 5 times and he scored 5 touchdowns. And the coach took him off offense, just said he wanted to save him for defense, but he was great on offense. He was a good linebacker too, but he was really a good running back. I've never seen anybody just run through people like that.
Dang.
But he didn't like football. University of Texas offered him a scholarship. He didn't want to go. He didn't want to play football. He wanted to do track. Yeah. No, he wanted to do track.
He wanted to do track.
And Dave, the same way, basketball. Dave loved basketball. I love football, you know. But we go to North Texas, and Dave has his scholarship. We're both there, you know, and so I look up on that hill one day, and it's a real hot day, and I hear a pop, and somebody hits the ground. So I look up there, and I can see through the dust Dave's big old frame getting up off of that ground. He's playing wide receiver, and we had some defensive backs that were killers, you know, and so Dave gets up, and I see the coach is parked over there watching practice, and he walks out to Dave, and he tells Dave, "We're practicing in that air-conditioned gym out there, and when we get thirsty, we get a drink of water. It's not like this out here." And so Dave quit and went to play basketball at North Texas, and I played football. But we all each are sports. Dave was a basketball player. I played football, and Kerry was discus, you know.
And your other brothers, Mike and Chris, were you guys a little bit disconnected from them because of age?
Yeah, that was it. Because by then we were wrestling and we weren't home very much. Right. And Mike was the big brother to Chris.
Got it.
Yeah.
So that was almost like a second second installment of children in a way.
Yeah, it was.
I saw that match with Kerry and Ric Flair. Or there's one match I remember. It was during the daytime, right? And I think it was in 84 maybe.
Yeah.
Is it?
Daytime, it was 84.
This was after David had passed away.
Right.
Were you at this match?
Oh, yeah. I wrestled on this card, too. And
because he looks so much more athletic, and no judgment to Ric Flair. I mean, their age difference is maybe huge here. But did he ever have to slow down with other wrestlers to make it look more real? Does that make any sense?
Well, I suppose. But, yeah, you know, it's all about... he had such charisma, you know, that his charisma was really his thing. I mean, he had a great body and a beautiful build. And I'm going to tell you, Tony Atlas and I were bench pressing, and I had a good bench press. I could bench 445 pounds. But my brother and Tony were benching 520, both of them. And I mean, repping it, you know. And I've never seen anybody as strong as Kerry was. I mean, Kerry, for his size, had the most power I've ever seen anybody be able to bring up. And he was agile, too. I mean, I told you he was a high jumper, a really good high jumper.
What was it like when Flair came to town? That must have been a ride, huh? He's quite a character.
Yeah, he was. He's something else.
He's something else, man.
You had a show with him, right?
Oh, and the best time. Because he's got stories, and he likes to, it's fun.
He's all fun all the time.
Yep. And it's no other side to it, really.
No.
There kind of isn't.
He is a real gentleman. He's got a great voice. When you hear his voice, you think that should be a radio man.
Yeah.
You know, he really does sound good, but when he comes to your town, he's going to give an interview that's going to rile, I don't care who you are, he's going to make you furious, and you're going to come down and see him get his butt kicked. And so you got to have that, you know. That's Rick. Now Harley Race and And the other champions, drawing a blank, but I mean the Briscoes, and they were great, but each had something else they brought to the table. Harley was, he had his rep at all of his different holes and moves, but Rick, what an interview he gives, and he's got the experience too. He's something else, and he's got a good head for when to do what he does. But you see what I mean? That was a guy like me really wouldn't fit the bill like Rick would.
Right.
Rick is he's gonna bump all night. He doesn't ever get tired. He's gonna drag it out to an hour, or he's gonna try to.
Yeah, just magnetic, man. That was a magnetic time.
He is. Man.
What was one of the most traumatic things that happened to one of your brothers in their life while they were alive? Was there anything that kind of changed their life a little bit that we didn't really see as much?
Well, probably so, yeah. My little brother Mike, with the toxic shock syndrome, we were wrestling in Tel Aviv, and we were going to do some shows in Lebanon too. And so Mike's wrestling the guy, but his shoulder had been dislocated, and he popped it back in the dressing room, got back out there in the ring, and it popped out again, and it had really popped out bad this time. So we flew him back to Texas to get surgery, and with the incision, it got toxic shock syndrome. It's a tampon thing ladies get, but they had such a huge incision where the arm was, or the shoulder was, that they had shoved gauze in there.
Oh, and some of it got left in.
I think it didn't get left in, but it got septic or something maybe. Mm-hmm. But whatever it was, his fever went up to so high, 106, 100, I even heard 107, but it didn't kill him though. In fact, the doctor came down, I say team, you wouldn't believe it, the hospital was filled with fans. They wanted to offer their kidneys or their liver to Mike, such love, but the docs told us that his fever is too high. He's not going to come back, and he's not going to make it through the night. And so rather than go up there and say goodnight, like he told us to, then we had, my parents were down in this waiting room at the hospital up here at Baylor, and we had, Gary Holder we had a chaplain that would go with our to shows, big shows. And he gave a prayer where he talked about, he said, God, you say anything we ask in Jesus' name, then you will do it. So we're asking you to stand on your word. And he slammed that Bible down on the desk. Man, I wanted to hide my head. I thought he went too far, But it was just a few seconds later, the door opened up and he said, the fever's broken. There's hope. And we ran up to see Mike. Just like that. It was, and David Manning was right there. My dad was there. My mom, Carrie, saw it. It was a miracle, man. It was really a miracle. Beautiful, but I don't want to get in an argument with people in it, but I would love, like I told you, I'd like my life to have an experience that people could benefit from, If you're somebody that's like maybe I was at a time, like life is overwhelming. And you know what? It's like when you overcome something, you're so much a better man than you were before. It's like when you're pushed to your limit and you have to adjust or die, you get stronger. And God, and I would just say to anybody that's out there lost, if you want to feel like you'll never be afraid of man or beast again, you will not be afraid of dying if you know where you're going to go when you die. And I know where I'm going to go, and I have no fear. It's a great life.
Did you have religion instilled in you when you were growing up? Did you have
No, that's the thing. We went to church on Easter, I remember, but this is a pretty odd story. But I spent the night with my dad's real estate partner is a doctor, and I spent the night with him one night, and the next day was Sunday, and they took me to church with them. And so I went to church, and so the only reason I went is because if you spent the night, you get to sleep with the dog, and I love their dog, And,
oh, yeah, dude. I've stayed over places just to be by the animals.
Uh-huh. Well, we go to church, and these men surround me and ask me if I want to accept Jesus. And so I knew that song, Jesus Loves Me, you know, and I'd been to wrestling before and I'd seen people poke the finger and stuff. And I knew that was bad, you know, and I thought, I don't want to be bad. I want to be good, you know, so I want to be on that side, you know, because I've kind of seen a little of both words, you know.
Yeah, you weren't a good heel.
Yeah. No.
This was choosing not to be a heel.
Yeah.
For eternity, I mean.
Well, you know, now that I understand what was going on, because I was just a little boy, you know. So I said the prayer, you know, and they asked me if I believed Jesus died. You know, I did. And I felt something move something weird in my chest. And I thought there were men standing behind me. I thought they did something to me, but I actually felt something move inside me. And I think it was that little bit of evidence gave me a lot of courage. And I knew God was with me. I knew he was. And that night, I got out of my bed and I went and I looked on my porch. I was just looking at this outside, the stars. And I'm a little boy. I could have imagined it, but I could have sworn I saw an angel fly across the field with a horn in his mouth, like he was blowing a horn. I didn't hear any sound. It looked just like a Christmas ornament to a Christmas tree. But in my mind, this was my best day of my life, and I belong to God now. And I have never been afraid of anything since then.
Amen. Yeah, it's interesting. I think sometimes people get scared to share like their testimonies or moments that they've had where they've just felt like something stronger than them took care of them.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I remember a feeling one time where I was just broken down, man. I was really banged up about a relationship and just not sure what I wanted to do with my life. I'd moved back in with my step parents, and man, I remember one time I was just on my knees bawling. And I just felt something come around my heart, man. I can't even explain it. Just like this warm thing. I'd never felt where my heart was. I mean, I'd put my hand on it, hoping for the best when I was pledging allegiance.
Theo, he's knocking on the door, you know.
But I mean,
you're a little boy, you're beautiful, and you're all alone, suffering like that. God, that was God, Theo.
Yeah.
He came to you. You know, we got one lifetime to learn it, you know, that there is such a thing. I mean, let me tell you, there is a devil. And people want to say there's no such thing, but there is, boy. I could tell you a really weird story, but it's 100% true.
Yeah. I mean, your life's full of craziest stories ever.
Listen to this one. Okay, so I'm going to wrestle Big Daddy, King Kong Bundy, and the Will Rogers Coliseum in Fort Worth. So I'm on the way to the ring. Kerry said, "Kev, come here." I said, "What, Kerry?" He said, "I was Dad on the phone. Mike's just been in a terrible car wreck. He's dying now. Dad said, don't try to get there fast because he'll be dead before we get there anyway." And I said, "What?" And so I ran to the ring. I said, "Ring the bell." They ring the bell. I grabbed Bundy's leg, schoolboyed him 1, 2, 3, ran to the back, carrying a hauled ass to the hospital. Still on my wrestling stuff. And so we get there, and there's cops everywhere, and they're standing by the doors, and I run right into them. I bust open, and there's this black lady out there, and she said, my baby. And when I crash those doors open, there's a little black kid laying there dead, and blood and stuff. So I go out the other door, open the door, and there's Mike. "Hey, Kev." He was fine, just fine. And so I'm like, I'm numb, you know? And so I knew my parents were on their way down here. And so I go outside and I see them walking down the ramp, and I said, "He's okay." And my dad just about fell down. My mom, they fell down. Well, so I'm going to get my car to come home. And Abilene is west, but Denton is north. Well, for some reason, I went west. And I went almost to Abilene, Eastland. I was so out of it, just driving. By the time I got home, I was so sleepy. His son had already come up, hadn't been waiting for me. And so I was going to take my bulldog down to the lake and wash him. I had Castile soap, you know, it's okay for the environment and all. So I'm washing my dog. And, I'm sorry. I maybe it's concussions, but before that, I said, "God, thank you for giving me my brother back. Let me fight the devil." I said, "Satan, I'll fight you. I'll fight you." And said, "Let me fight him, God." It was stupid, a stupid boy. And so I go to the lake, I'm washing my dog, and Theo, I swear this happened. So my dog, everything's real still. And I'm feeling weird a little bit. And I look and I see there's a bush here, and some more bushes here and a hill here. And I see these little black things taking position against me and advancing on me. I felt like I could smell blood. I could smell death. And I said, get in the car, Pam. And I put my back to the car, and I was like this, and I would see them going from the trees. They're getting these positions, and I was ready. And next thing I know, I'm out. I'm having a seizure in my car. And so Pam's screaming and crying, and these fishermen have run up to help, and I must have hit one or kicked one or something. But a girl ran up and said, I know his parents. I'll get them. And an ambulance came and all that. But I know it's because I'm a man, and I challenge the devil. And we have Jesus in us that fights the devil. We don't have anything to do with the devil. And so that was my lesson that I learned. But I know that happened. And it's just in me, like written on my heart and with a nail,
Look, it's a testimony, man.
Yeah,
I thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think sometimes we don't think that the devil is real, and that is the devil's way to trick us. I believe that.
Yeah.
If you don't think that evil's real, then it's how quick, you don't know how close it is to you either. You don't know how intertwined it could be in your own veins. If you don't even believe it's real, that's a pretty masterful trick.
Yeah, and we think with a man's mind, and the devil has an angel's mind. He's way smarter than we are.
Devil's a thug. The devil is a thug.
Yeah.
That is the truth, man. Thank you for sharing that. I've had friends share some really some strong testimonials, some moments where they just felt that. There's been moments in my life where I just felt, you just get that feeling. Sometimes you ever get overcome with that feeling, you're just so thankful that God has been with you.
Yeah.
Man, because you thought you did it yourself and you realized you didn't. That God was there with you, man. When I've had that feeling come over me, God, you almost feel like you thaw out some, like you thaw out.
And then we get to a position where something bad comes along. We're, oh no, God, don't let this happen. And He saves us again, and like, oh, I forgot the other times too.
Yeah. I'll forget. I'll forget.
You're the
quick.
little Southern boy. I know what kind of, you caught copperheads and water moccasins and stuff like that, I'm sure.
Oh, I got electrocuted a bunch. I was definitely beaten a lot. Yeah, we got bit by things, I got attacked by a bunch of stray animals. I grew up in the stray animal belt.
Really?
So they had just...
What kind of stray animals?
Oh, anything, brother. Snakes, raccoons, birds, dogs.
Man.
I don't even know. Just, they had dogs wearing jewelry. All kind of shit was out there looking for us.
Man, you got a good memory.
It was dangerous out there.
Well, I used to I got chased by a goose when I was a little kid.
By a ghost?
A goose.
Oh, a goose, yeah. I'd rather a damn ghost. Gooses are dangerous, dude.
Well, they can bite, but for a little kid, it's scary.
They don't care, and they're violent. And, dude, a goose will come at you. It'll just be one of them. Some animals, they'll have 5 or 6 of them. Raccoons are like that, Ants are like that. They won't come at you just one. But a goose, that thing will roll up on you solo. That's pretty savage when you think of it.
Yeah,
is that you?
That's a goose is thinking Rambo. Really?
Dude, that's crazy. What were your parents' lives like? What was like? Are either of your parents still alive?
No.
Okay. Are they buried in the same place?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, we had my mother. When we moved out, I couldn't move to Kauai without taking my mom with me.
Oh, so you took your mom with you?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And she lived in the house with us too.
Did she love it there?
My dad used to wrestle in Japan a lot, and so we would meet him in Hawaii. And I didn't realize it, but Hawaii reminded her of her sons. And she didn't want to go anywhere. She wanted to stay in her room, and she wanted to grow her flowers. And that was it. She did love it. She loves her flowers, but it was like, it reminded her too much of that. But she passed away up in our guest room upstairs. But all my granddaughters and my son's wives were standing around her singing hymns while she passed away. And Theo, before she died, she was a super good woman. She was so sweet and thoughtful to everyone. When she'd come to school, I'll be so proud of her, because all the kids will like her. But when she was laying in that bed and she breathed her last breath, even as she, like that, her hand went up like that. And I could just picture touching Jesus' hand and going to heaven, you know.
She was probably ready to go see her sons, huh?
Oh, I know she was. You know, my dad, I hate to tell you all this personal stuff, buddy, but...
Oh, I could match you if you need, but we've heard my stories a lot. No, I just can't imagine. I bet she was ready to go see her sons, you know.
He was.
I bet she'd been gone away from them long enough.
And, you know, my dad, too. Because really, when you think about it, my dad lost more than my mom. My dad lost his sons, but he didn't ever show it. I mean, but he hurt. He was hurting, but he was like, it was just that at his final days, he was so torn up inside. I think when he saw me, it would remind him of all the sons he'd lost. And he pulled that 44 out one day, and he pointed his head like, I'm just going to shoot myself. Dad, no, don't do it. Don't do it, Dad. And he pointed the gun at me, and he said, you're afraid to die, aren't you, son? He said, you'd have the guts. You'd do it too if you had the guts. And I said, Dad, it doesn't take guts to live. I mean, it takes guts to kill yourself, Dad. It takes guts to stay alive on this earth. And he was hurting so much. He would just go, oh, God. He'd rub his face and go, oh, God. And when I'd hear that, I actually wanted him to die. I wanted him to pass away. He was just miserable. And I know that when he died, he was right there with Dave, Kerry, Mike. It was beautiful. But my dad had gotten to where he said, look, son, if you kick an old dog enough times, he's going to bite you. And that's how I am with God right now. He's kicked me too many times. And so I said, Dad, you're going to be so surprised, but I couldn't convince him of it, you know.
Yeah.
But
I can't imagine what it's like to be kind of the surviving son. Did you feel chosen or did you feel deserted? Does that question make any sense to you?
Sure. It's funny you say that. Yeah, because I felt chosen in the way that my dad gave me a tape recorder back when I was in 5th grade. It was Bell and Howell, you know, and you could talk into it, and I couldn't believe I could hear my voice.
Yeah.
You know, and so I thought, I love my dad so much. I filled the tape. It was, okay, one day Dad's going to die, and I'm going to talk, and here I am alive while he's still alive, and so I'm going to say something to make me feel better. I said, man, I'm sorry, Kev. Sorry, buddy. I just filled the tape up with that.
Oh, as if you were impersonating your dad?
Yeah, like I can comfort myself later when I don't know where.
No, dude, that's really interesting, though.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
But I remember saying, Dave and Kerry, we loved each other so much. I thought, I can't bear to lose them. I could not bear it. And I thought, but they loved me that way. And so I said this, even in a prayer, I said, God, if one of us has to stand back, if one of us has to be the only one, let it be me.
Wow.
Because I'm hard and I'm strong inside. Lord, God made me that way. But I didn't know it would ever happen, but I did say it, you know.
You know, I used to have, I mean, this is like silly, but like, so when I was growing up, I didn't have any, like whenever my dad died, I didn't have anything of his, right? I didn't have like a shirt or like a button or just anything to remember him by, you know? And so I used to write postcards to my kids, right? Whenever I was on the road, just traveling over the years doing comedy, I would write postcards to my kids. I don't have any kids yet, but I would send them postcards just so in the future they would be able to see that I was thinking of them, right?
Yeah.
Like I wanted to prove,
That's like so smart, bro.
But right, but I just think it's the same type of thing. It's like you're just trying to like, I don't know, you're always thinking of like, how do I make sure that that somebody knew I cared or that somebody knew somebody else cared.
I'm going to die someday.
Yes.
I'm going to die someday.
It's just stuff like that is interesting. I think a lot of people do little things like that. But that's interesting because you could have felt like you were deserted.
Yeah.
But to end up feeling that you were chosen, that's pretty powerful.
Well, I don't think I'd say the word chosen, more like I'd say that I would not want to put them through that. You know? Yeah.
Like you were the one that could handle it.
Then I think I would not want them to go through it. Yeah. I would rather me go through it than they did. And I think
that's sweet of
God might have gave me some credit for that, you know, because it's all about we're in a struggle, you know. It's like we're not on this earth to laugh it up and have fun. We have tests, real tests, and life is hard. And that kind of stuff that kicks you in the nuts is what makes you stronger.
Yeah.
Makes you more strong. And without that, you can't give advice to people about things you haven't been around, but once you've had it and suffered yourself, now you can say, listen up.
Well, with that said, and I agree, I was just thinking about that the other day. It's like, I've always had this outlook, and they kind of don't teach you that when you're a kid as much, and they really shouldn't when you're a young child. But I think they should teach you at some point that life is a test, that it is full of a lot of tests. And it's not all just going to be like this perfect thing, or everything might not work out the way you think it. You never really kind of get that education, maybe, or maybe some parents do give it to their kids. But with what you said a second ago, if you had to share something with somebody who had lost a sibling or who had dealt with, some grief from loss, something that you've learned, because, you're like almost the Neil Armstrong of loss. You've endured a lot in your life, and watched other loved ones endure a lot, What have you kind of learned that you feel like you could share, if anything?
Well, thank you for giving that opportunity, because that's what I want to do, is to try to make it positive for somebody, buddy. But, it's tough, because I want to tell people, like, when somebody dies, it's going to get better, but it doesn't get better, man. You don't even get used to it. It's just keep tolerating it, and you just somehow it gets a little better someday. But there's no good word to say to them. But when somebody's really busted up, and when you overcome that and are able to maintain through that, well, then it's now you've achieved through a struggle. You've achieved over an obstruction. You've gone over a hurdle, and it's like, now you can say you won. Now you can say you won something, because without a fight, there can't be a winner. There can't be a champion. There can't be a success unless there's that adversity, And so God wouldn't put you through that unless you're going to benefit. And Theo, you got a great mind. You're an intelligent guy, I can tell.
And thanks, man.
Life he's knocking on your door too, my friend.
You too. I feel like you and me are probably pretty similar in some ways. You feel that?
Sure do.
I do too. Do you, how therapeutic was having your own family for you?
Everything, man. That was what did it, is what saved me, because, man, when you can have anything you want, and your brothers can have anything they want, and they come over and let's go do this, let's go do that. It's like, what a life. It's a whole lot, but well, I don't mean to bum me out, man. I don't want to start bumming
I don't
you
feel
out.
like you're bumming me out at all.
Really?
No, I was just thinking I was going to ask you what's something that you admire about each one of your children. And then I was going to ask you what's something that you, maybe like something funny or something silly that you kind of admire, or maybe miss, something goofy or something about each one of your brothers, maybe. Just like a nice thing, like a band they like to listen to, just something like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, we love good music. I can tell you. I've never told anybody this story, but we had a tree house, but it was built on stilts, a little room on stilts. My dad made us, and so we had my mother was a third oldest, but she had an older sister, and so her older sister came over, and she had two sons, and they could pick on us, and so we were hiding up there, and they were trying to get it. We'd pull the rope up, wouldn't let them go, and we had rocks. We're throwing rocks at them, and so it got really bloody. We're chunking rocks and hitting each other, and so I think I let one go and hit one of the guys right in the head, and my cousin, it would have kicked my ass if he could have caught me, but so he runs in the house to tell on me, so we'll get in trouble, and so me, Dave, and Carrie come down from the treehouse. We're watching out. They're not going to ambush us and beat us up on the way to the house, But they run to the house to tell on us, so we run up there. And so the guy's bleeding. My cousin's bleeding. My cousin Steve bleeding all over the place. And Dad said, "What the hell happened?" And I was about to feel something. Kerry said, "Dad, he got a little razor blade, cut his head." And my dad started cracking up laughing, and so Dave and I kind of go with the story, and I think he started laughing and just let it go. But I think back on that, Kerry was such a cute little kid,
He was lying about it, huh?
He did. He was that way.
He was quick, huh?
Another time we were riding in the car and my friend had a BB gun. And so we were riding on the BB gun and shooting signs and warning lights and stuff, So we drive by a pickup and he shoots the windshield. And
of your own vehicle?
No, it was a friend of ours, vehicle, an old man that had a ranch just south of us. And so
blew it out?
Yeah, shot the window out. And the cops were going to get us, and we're running from them and all, and got in such trouble. And so we're answering for it all. We got away. And so they weren't sure that we were the ones, and so the cops were all talking to us, and my dad was there, and I hear my dad say, "My sons won't lie to me." So I'll ask them. "My sons will not lie to me." And so he calls Kerry over there. And Kerry had already lied to him, and so I heard Dad say that. He said, "Come here, Kev." And I went, Kerry's over there. We're going with the lie, but I'm busted. And so I'm going to say, I can't get the word to Kerry. I get it to Dave. Dave can't get it to Kerry. And I said, "Yes, sir, Dad, we did it. We all did it." And I said, "Kerry, come here, son. Kerry, look me in the eye. I want you to tell me the truth. Did you do it?" He said, "No, sir, Dad. I swear." Oh, man. Never
Kerry
forgave
could
me
lie.
for that.
Kerry could lie. That's all
Yeah.
right. Somebody's got to lie, man.
Yeah.
And what about Chris? What was something that was fun or just neat about him? What was something he liked to do?
Well, he loved Indian stuff, and he had he stacked the rocks and all and Indian stuff. He knew all about chief bowls and the Wonka Tonka, I don't know, I can't know.
Wampum, something like that. Like he knew a lot of Native American lore.
Yeah, he loved all that stuff. And so where they lived, they had all arrowheads and spearheads. He found that stuff all the time. So that's what he was really doing. But he was a great artist. He could draw anything, And so I thought that, but he had asthma. And so because he had to take medicine, it made his bones brittle. And he just wasn't going to get big and strong. It just didn't, when he worked out, it didn't really do anything.
We all took all the bigness too. If he was the last one, y'all didn't leave any bigness for
That's
him.
what I've thought. I thought maybe we took all the big
Hell
because
yeah, you took all
man, he wanted to be, no, I could have cared less, but he wanted to be big so bad.
And what about Mike? What was something that Mike liked to do? What kind of music did he listen to?
Oh, he liked Metallica and AC/DC and
Did y'all ever go to many concerts together?
oh, always a lot of concerts together. Yeah,
What was one y'all went to?
ZZ Top, loved them. And,
1,000 pounds.
yeah, and then
Isn't that AC/DC?
we went to a Foghat concert, and I think the band that warmed up for him was I Am Just a Cowboy, Rode Around Trail, with the Starry Nights, Campfire Lights. What was that song? The Cowboy
Thin
song.
Lizzy?
Thin Lizzy.
What is it? Thin Lizzy's?
Yeah, that was a great concert.
Cowboy song by Thin Lizzy. I haven't heard that. I got to listen to that
Well,
one.
that's a great song. And that was going to be Dave's song. See, I picked the music, but with Kerry picked his song. But
For the walkout music?
I always did the music, and I picked that song for Dave, but he said, "No, Kev, I'm a cowboy." And he picked, "When I Die, I May Not Go to Texas." It was nothing. You want music.
Tanya Tucker?
Yeah, but I mean,
Good God.
but it was terrible for Go to the Ring too, because
I'm sure it was, dude.
you want to sound like an interesting sound and a crescendo, and you kick the door open and lights and all.
Yeah.
So you don't want something
And he's
like
blasting
that.
some damn Shania Twain or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different level, man. Okay, and Jack had passed away before you. What about Kerry? What's something you remember about him that you like?
Shoot. Kerry was just...
Were y'all the closest, probably?
Well, me, Dave, and Carrie were real close. And then Mike was our baby, you know, so we were really close. And then, but, you know, Chris was a little bit, I told you about the divorce thing when I was a kid. One thing my mother insisted on my dad was that my dad not discipline Mike and Chris like he did me, Dave, and Carrie, because he used a leather strap on us, you know. But I mean, we're boys, you know, and we got
It was kind of common back then.
It was, yeah. And
my principal beat me in the office one time, a couple times, I think. It's back when your principal could spank you. You
yeah,
know?
I've been beaten there too. I mean, you know, we had it coming.
Hey, that's all right,
yeah,
brother.
we had it coming.
Hey,
You know?
did we? I don't know.
Well, you know, if we got away with it, and we just done it again, you know.
Look, he got me. I got over on him more times than he got over on me. I'll tell you that, Mr. Brady.
Yeah, I think same with mine. I had a principal like that. He'd come down in the office and he'd open your classroom door and said, "Who parked on my grass?" You know, if any car was touching grass, it was his grass, and you had to move it. You know, he was a really obnoxious guy.
Did you guys finish high school, you and your brothers?
Yeah, we did. We, of course, I hated school. I hated it. I don't know if you did or not. But,
If I could wrestle good, I wouldn't like damn spelling.
Well, I wasn't wrestling then. You know, I was a little kid. I had to do my homework and all that stuff, but I had to listen to all that junk in class and about Susie has 2 dresses and, you know, all that crap. I couldn't stand it. I was bored to death. And I'm not a very good parent. I told you, when I see little boys, I say, I hated school. I don't blame you for not wanting to go. You know, there's a lot better stuff to do. You got a dog, you got a BB gun, and that's all you need, you know?
When you think back, what about your own parenting? So you have 4 children?
Yeah.
Okay. And what are they like? You have 2 boys and 2 girls?
Yeah, 2 boys and 2 girls. Well, my oldest 2 are daughters, Kristen and Jill. And Kristen is always been my soft spot. I love her so much, and she's brilliant. She does everything for us. You know, she's she's such a good foster mom. She in Hawaii, she'd take the kids for the police. What do you call the ID?
CPS.
CPS. She would get those kids, and then. For foster parents, they loved her there, and said so many people that loved her in Hawaii, so many kids. And then there's my daughter Jill. Well, she was way more like me. She can swim endlessly. I've swum out to reefs before that were way too far for anybody without a boat. She'll swim out there without flippers and go down and dive with lobsters with me, and grab them with her hands too. I mean, I'm using gloves, but. She's something else. She can run like a deer. She loves it, and her sons are all athletic. I could go overboard talking about her. She's such an athlete. And then there's Ross and Marsh.
And Ross and Marshall got into wrestling.
Yeah.
Were you scared when they got into wrestling, or did you have any thoughts about it, or that's just what they wanted to do?
Well, not with Ross. I knew he's been an ass kicker his whole life, and he fights easily, you know, and that's not usually, there's not much for a man like that to do in today's world except wrestling. And so Ross is going to be good there. But Marshall, I did worry about him because Marshall is a super athlete. He went out to Hawaii and he was the quarterback and he was throwing the bombs. The newspapers would people would just want a picture of how far he could throw the football. He was just a great athlete, but I worried about him getting that heat stroke out there, you know, because he had a heat issue one time. So that's the only time I've ever been worried of them, because they're both like bulls, you know, they're strong and healthy, and I wouldn't worry about it either way. With their wrestling now too, they know what they need to know. I believe that the wrestling business is about to really explode, because it was just like this when my brothers and I got started. And when this COVID got in, they had to wrestle in empty buildings. I don't think I could have ever done that.
Yeah.
But it made it where the people really have not seen them explode yet. They worked for a little. They went to Japan and wrestled, and they worked for a little operation at MLW, and now they're with AEW.
Oh, really? AEW's been popping off, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I keep hearing about it all the time now.
Yeah, they're really gonna be something special, I believe.
And will they tag team?
They've done both. They work tag teams right now, though. I mean, it's a lot of, there's tag teams is such an interesting, exciting match, because the guys don't have time to get a hold. But they can do either one. They can wrestle single. They can work a tag. But probably they'll work a tag team. As a matter of fact, I don't want to talk out of school, but we have a neighbor in Bernie, and it's Bill Goldberg, the guy that wrestled at WWE.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a Texas boy, I think, isn't he, or Oklahoma?
Bill Goldberg? Yeah, I think he's from Oklahoma. Where's he from? Norman? No.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Did you ever fight Rocky Johnson?
I was too young, but my first black and white pictures, I was trying to flex, and I didn't know, I didn't expect to have muscles, but that's Rocky. And so Rocky's was really good at flexing. And so Rocky taught me everything about flexing. He was standing right behind the cameraman doing this and doing all these things. And whatever Rocky did, I did for the picture,
So you learned a little from him then, huh?
And Rocky's son is The Rock,
Oh, yeah, Dwayne Johnson.
And so we would that's actually the picture.
That's hilarious, dude.
But Little Rock was there.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. He's a little boy. I mean, he was the cutest little kid.
People say that Rocky was is a very nice guy. He's still alive?
He is. I don't know. I don't know about that, but Rock was a great guy too. I mean, he was he was a little younger than us, so we'd wrestle him and like his we'd frustrate him and to see if he'd have the courage to pep up with it, and he would too.
Who, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock?
He would fight. He would want to fight. That pup will bite you. He was a beautiful little kid. Yeah.
Y'all might have put that fire in him, man. What about Bruiser Brody? Remember him?
Yeah, he was something else. Smart guy. On his workout routine, he would just put on leather gloves and lay into that heavy bag, and it thickened his chest. And I mean, he did bench presses too, but he had an awesome bench press, but also his body was built so powerfully because I think he worked out different. He did a lot of strikes, and that thickens joints and all. It makes you have kind of that raw strength, and he'd had that. But if you want to talk about Puerto Rico, well, I could tell you too that.
What happened?
Well, he was killed in Puerto Rico,
Oh, he was killed in Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, gosh, I never told this story, but I could tell you this one too. That Brody was real temperamental, and he would get pissed off real easy. Well, the Puerto Rico wrestling office owed him about $80,000. And so my dad was president of the Alliance back then. And so we worked out a payout schedule where they'd pay him a little each show. But Brody got to that show, and he wouldn't work for him because they owed him that money. And so Dad worked it out where he would come back. And boy, when they came back, they sold out San Juan. And it was a great crowd. Well, Brody wanted his money that night because he saw that they had it. But, there are other things that they've, and that's all that started. That's all that started. So he wanted his money and wasn't to be. And so he kicked the guy's ass, and the guy's that invader, forgot his name. But, man, this is an ugly story too, but the guy and so they got in a fight, and Brody beat him up, and he knifed Brody in the shower. But
damn, in the shower.
This is the kind of guy, the guy that did it, just about a week before that, his little daughter drowned in his swimming pool.
Oh.
So he's on edge, and so I can't really, I know them both, and they're both men that want to earn a living, and it's sad.
Oh, that's him, Jose Gonzalez?
Yeah. Yeah, life is, like I said, we suffer, we find the beautiful moments in between those ugly ones, and it's good, it's got good and bad.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was something else that you talked about using medicinal marijuana. How did you get into that? And then how did it help you, do you feel like?
Well,
if you want to talk about it, if you don't want to, that's fine.
Yeah, I did. Well, I had a lot of knee surgeries too. And you can take a pain pill, but if you do, then it's going to take an edge off of it. And so you'll want to take more. And if you do, you're going to get in a problem. And so I didn't want pain pills. So I wanted a natural pain relief. And so I tried cannabis, and I liked it. And it was just good all around for me. It was good. And so I actually grow it out in Kauai. And so that's how I, have it. I'm so grateful for it too. I mean, I hope they don't make it illegal again, because it's like a wonder drug to me. It really was.
Did you ever get involved in any other type of plant medicine or anything like that out there? I know there's like ayahuasca ceremonies and stuff like that. I've done that before, and a lot of our listeners have, I think, have considered it or tried it.
Yeah, there's stuff called, what's the name of that? Kiff. No. Kava. What? Kava. Yeah, kava root's good for you. I say good for you. I read about the contraindications on that, and it can make your skin like, have, what do you call those things? Shingles?
Scales or whatever?
Scales, like, yeah.
Damn. Make a damn dragon out of it.
I guess that's if you do too much of it or something. I tried it. It's not bad for you.
But have you ever done like ayahuasca or like a plant medicine ceremony
I've
where they
never
put
heard
you
of
under?
that.
Yeah?
Ayahuasca?
Ayahuasca.
Oh.
It's like a medicine that you take, and you kind of sit in a group of the shaman, and it's like a 2-day ceremony. And you kind of go through these bouts of like, it's kind of like an emotional journey that you go on. It's really fascinating.
Like a sweat lodge kind of thing, maybe? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Really, really fascinating if you ever get curious about it.
I got a friend in Israel that writes comedy shows, that writes soap operas, and he does that. He goes to Africa and South America and finds indigenous people and does stuff like that with them. Yeah. And he does, I mean, he's a wealthy guy. So he does
it's Aaron Rodgers. We know who it is. Yeah. What's your physical routine like today for yourself, Kevin?
Physical routine?
Today? Yeah, do you have like a daily routine or?
Yeah. Solomon comes in my bedroom about 8:45 or 9 o'clock. And
that's your grandson?
Uh-huh. And we go either catch lizards or snakes or frogs. We've caught 4 rattlesnakes on our ranch.
Hell yeah.
Last year, and we caught king snakes and turtles, sea turtles, soft-shell turtles, you name it. That little boy and I have so much fun together. And he's I love him to death. And
does he remind you any one of your brothers in particular at all, or no? Or is that a weird
he
question?
reminds me of Marshall and Ross. It's like I'm able to be dad again, It's like I enjoyed being their father so much. I really love my sons and my daughters, but having Solomon again is just like having Marshall again, and he's got Ross in him too, though. It's beautiful. For anybody that's wondering, Kevin Von Erich, I consider myself the luckiest guy in the world. I mean, I know for that movie coming out, you may not believe it, but I am happy all day, every day. And I mean, I look forward to tomorrow. And I couldn't ask for a better way things turned out. And to bitch about my brothers dying too young, the truth is we had a great time. We had a great time a long time.
Hell yeah, we're still talking about how good the time was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, dude?
So I can't call it a bad day.
Is there any message you think that your father or brothers like felt like that you think that they would want to have given but they didn't get a chance to? Is there ever anything like that?
Yeah. I want to tell you something. Now, we watched my dad wrestle when we were little boys. And we had an idea to make a wrestling show that would be different. It would be 2 hot cameras the whole time, so nothing's going to look bad on television. We used just the best camera shot. It would have done some extra time editing, but we wanted wrestling to be, instead of the 20 and 30-minute matches, 1 hour time limits, we thought 20 minutes was plenty of time for a match to just and pick up the pace, and just make it more intense. And I think our shows were like that. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of all of our shows. And my brothers and I, especially Dave and I, and Dad had a great idea one time, and it was going to be to put our new style of wrestling on the show, and it was great. We had a great TV rating, and Vince offered us a big part of his half of his company up there to come in with him. And I sat there with my dad, and Dad said, "Nope, what's in it for us?" And you never disagree with family in a business meeting. But I was thinking, he's got everything we need, Dad, everything we need. But Dad wouldn't go with him.
To partner with WWE, you mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were going to let Dad keep San Antonio and Dallas, too.
But who knows, huh?
Yeah.
Who knows what would have happened?
Yeah. It's because there's many a slip twixt the cup and the lip, But, I mean, we would have been ready. We'd have jumped all over that because we're little boys that had seen it for our whole life, and we just knew how to make it better. We'd watch the NFL, and the slow motion, the collisions and all, and concerts with the lasers and all the music, the way it fills you out of your chair, We had it. We had how we wanted to do it. So, that didn't come about, but we had a great time aiming at it.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe things would have been different,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, on behalf of any kid that was like me, the second you guys, they put the name on the screen, or it's just, man, it was awesome, dude. You felt like everything was possible. You could fucking rip the drywall out of the living room. You could fucking do whatever you wanted, dude. Yeah. You knew Mom was coming home in an hour and a half, but you had 90 minutes till she got there where you were free as a bird, boy. Yeah. I'd break every damn chair we had and then spend the next 2 hours gluing them bitches back together for dinner, dude.
You would have loved to step into the business. I know you liked it. You would have loved it.
Well, Kevin, man, thanks so much, dude.
Got a show tonight.
Yeah, we got a show tonight.
I'd love to take you to dinner, but you're busy.
Yeah, tonight I'll be busy, but you know what? I think I'm going to be down to Austin in September.
Oh, you are? Shoot, call me up, man.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll show you Texas.
When I am, I'll come out and see the ranch, man.
Do it.
That would be cool.
That would be, man.
What plants do you guys have out there?
What plants?
Yeah, do you plant any avocados or anything like that here in Texas, or no?
Oh, no. That's it. Won't grow in the subtropics. But I say that I went to Israel. It's on the 33rd degree latitude from the equator. I mean, that's way far north. They have mangoes there, papayas. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, they
can't grow that in Texas.
Yeah, you can't grow that in Texas, huh? But you can grow a batch of Von Erichs, dude, that are pretty damn impressive. I'll say that.
I sure can.
Kevin, thanks so much for your time, man. Just thanks for you and your family. Just all the enjoyment and excitement and invigoration and possibility over the years. I think it's inspired a lot of people, and it was so much fun as a kid. Just fucking when you guys came on the screen, just getting to be a Von Erich for a few minutes, man.
It was fun, man. It was a lot of fun. And I think about it. And, when you get some stress built up, you can just get in the ring and kick ass.
Well, that's a motto for life, guys.
Those days are gone.
But they're pretty close in our minds,
Yeah, right there.
You can still feel them right on the edge of your skin sometimes.
Dang right.
Dude, I'll beat the shit out of somebody in the lobby here if we need to.
Well, let's find a quiet spot, and I'll take you down somewhere, and we can make a little news.
Kevin Von Erich, thanks so much, man.
My pleasure, buddy.
Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like these leaves. I must be cornerstone. Oh, but when I reach that ground, I'll share this peace of mind I found. I can feel it in my bones, but it's gonna take